infrastructure is crumbling this evening as the Nintenbyte Podcast continues its unprecedented rise. In cities across the globe, fans are rioting. The Pentagon has issued a statement describing the Nintenbyte Podcast network as a pixel-based prophecy. Some say the rise was foretold, others say it's just a really good podcast. We're talking twisted nipples, milk, and a sock puppet who doesn't talk.
It's dangerous to go alone. Watch this.
Welcome to the Nintenbyte Podcast, bitch.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the greatest Nintendo podcast ever! Yeah!
Is that a Joy-Con in your pants, or are you just happy to see us?
Shut up! Now feel the power. Everyone, do you feel that?
Oh my god, I feel it!
I feel it too, GameBird. What is it?
It's the power of our podcast.
I feel it!
This is rad, Nintenbyte.
So rad.
Power. Now bask in their glory.
I'm Nintendo Prime. Oh, baby.
I'm ThunderStash.
I'm GameBird Classic.
Nintenbyte rules.
Let's rock.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Nintenbyte Podcast Season 3, Episode 32. As you can see here, we are missing one of the core four. This is our holiday special. We are missing one. I do have an update as to why he is not here. So let me read what he had sent to me. His 12-year-old son, Aiden, was airlifted to a special care unit and is in critical condition. What started as a flu spiked his sugar levels to over 700. He has been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. He has major brain swelling and is not mentally aware at this time. He has shown some improvements from some treatments, but not with the swelling. Please keep him in your prayers. Further updates will only be provided if and when he recovers. Thank you. So yeah, just keep them in your prayers and everything like that. So we are now on episode 32. Happy holidays, everyone. Let's go around and introduce people. GameBird.
Happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy to be here. Thoughts and prayers to Nintendo Prime and his family. I know we're all sad he can't be here tonight, but we're gonna keep it with the spirit of the season and have some fun with you guys. And I'm just happy to be here.
ThunderStash.
Good evening, everyone. Happy to be here. Yes, Merry Christmas. I wish you Happy New Year next week, assuming that you're here next week on the 30th. Yeah, thoughts and prayers, of course, to Nate and his entire family, his son. Been in my prayers ever since I heard about it on Sunday. So with that said, Eric, pass it on to you, brother.
Yeah. So for those that don't know me, I'm Eric Mohr, and yeah, I am the Spice Lord / sock puppet.
Spit it out.
Yeah, right. I got lint in my mouth. All right. Well, I think we've all kind of decided that we're just going to skip over our normal topic roulette, and we'll just kind of jump into the topics. Stashman, do you want to go ahead and just lead the topics?
Absolutely. Okay, guys. So as we know, or as we hope, and I'm sure a lot of people out there are hoping, right, that they get a Nintendo Switch 2 for Christmas. I'm sure we all have a lot of great memories, which we could probably talk about later. of Nintendo and Christmas, whether it's getting a new console, getting video games, a big flagship title, whatever it may be. So, with that said, since so many people will be getting a new Switch 2, we want to give our top 10 Switch 2 games that we recommend to new Switch 2 owners. That will be our first topic of the evening. And GameBird, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I'm still working on my list a little bit, but let me kick it off, and then I can add to. I have a very busy
get
day
a few
today,
in there.
guys. Do some. I did some overtime, so I've been kind of jumbling this list together. But I do have some picks to start off with. The first one I'm going to mention today is it's kind of cheating, because the topic is best Switch 2 games. If we're going to recommend some games to you guys are getting one under the tree. You need some stuff to pick out. What experiences that are only on Switch 2 should you get? I'm cheating with this first one because technically this is a game that exists on the Switch 1. However, it has been my favorite Switch 2 experience to date, and you can't play it in the same way that you can on Switch 1. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Metroid Prime 4. This is a game that runs beautiful 4K 60. You've got your 120 frames mode, and you got mouse mode. You literally have all the ways to play, all the best ways to play. The game's beautiful, gorgeous. It's Metroid Prime through and through, and the game just rocks. It has great bosses. It's been a kind of a divisive entry in the series, but I think ultimately, if you've ever played any game from the Prime series and enjoyed it, you're gonna enjoy this game. So that's what I'm leading off with. My next one, probably my number 2, is Donkey Kong Bonanza. Obviously nominated for Game of the Year this year. They brought Donkey Kong back to 3D. They reinvented the wheel with this one, giving you full control of DK in a 3D open world, destructible environments, puzzles, shrine-like activities, all that good stuff, with an ending that's so wonderfully sweet, and it makes me feel nostalgia and joy in the same way that I did when I reached the finale of Mario Odyssey. Just a really special game, incredible music too. So that one is a big one for me. Mario Kart World, guys. This game's fantastic. It was snubbed and robbed of best soundtrack nomination, and probably the game with the best soundtrack. Easy snub, but the game's just fantastic. And it's an unfinished game because we know there's going to be DLC. We know they're going to be adding brand new. It's not going to be Mario Kart World in 8 years. It's going to be Mario Kart Worlds. And we're probably going to get that DK land, and we'll probably see Hyrule and really cool original worlds and tracks by the end of this game, by its completion. But this is a game that's also, since its launch, has come out with multiple patches, just better refining and enhancing the experience. This is a great one. If you have friends that you like to game with, if you have a big family, I couldn't recommend this one enough. Just a great game. Age of Imprisonment. This is probably my second favorite game on Switch 2 right now. Zelda's obviously my favorite series of all time. It's the best Zelda's ever looked. The combat's incredible. Great music, just a great time. And regardless of what your favorite Hyrule Warriors game is, I think as far as objectively the best entry they've done, I think this is objectively their best entry. I still have a soft spot for the OG one that kind of is a love letter to the whole series, but Age of Imprisonment is phenomenal, and just a lot of fun. Now we got some third-party stuff that, these are games you could play elsewhere, but if Switch 2 is your only platform, or if you're upgrading from Switch 1 to Switch 2, I highly recommend these. Cyberpunk, this is a first on a Nintendo console. The game's stunning. Again, like Metroid, this is a game that offers mouse mode functionality, so that's a huge plus right there. One of the games that a lot of people felt was like, oh, this is the impossible port, and it looks and runs great. Another one, this was a very, very special one to me, and anyone who owns a Switch 2 and doesn't have this game, I don't know what you're doing with yourself. Get to the store and buy it now. I'm talking Yakuza 0. Director's Cut too, which is a first on the Switch 2, which adds, I believe it's 30 minutes of additional cutscenes and story, as well as an online beat 'em up kind of what do you call that kind of it's like a survival. I think that's what you call it, like a horde mode type of online multiplayer. Really cool. Even taking away the extras, which the extras rock, but taking away all that stuff, this is easily one of my favorite series of all time. You know, I put it in my top 10 series of all time. We've already got Zero. We've got the first game. The second game's coming if it's not already there yet. And then they're doing the third one as a Kiwami for the first time. Guys, we're going to get the whole series on Switch too, I guarantee you. And you're going to have a huge library of some of the most kick-ass games and wild storytelling you've ever experienced. So definitely Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. Next one on the list, this one that I haven't currently played, but I think this might be more of the impossible port than Cyberpunk, and that's Assassin's Creed Shadows. This game is a technical showcase, and the port's incredibly well done and has had its praises sung for Switch 2. So that's one that I definitely highly recommend. That's 7 of my 10 picks. I need to brainstorm a little bit on the 3 because I'm late to this. Oh, snap. Someone's got the eggnog.
This is the special candy cane one that I told you guys I had to be very disciplined to not open this.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That looks bomb.
Yes, I am excited.
I kind of completely forgot about the eggnog.
Yep.
With everything that was going on. So
Yep. Blame you.
If someone wants to jump in now, I need to pick 3 more games, and I'm gonna kind of brainstorm, look at what I've got, and throw some 2 together. But I know there's some stuff out there on Switch 2 that I just haven't. I've never even played Dragon Drive. You know, some people might say screw that game, but I've never played it, and I know some people really like it. But whoever wants to jump in and start going through their list, take it away.
Eric, you want me to go? Or
No,
you
I
want
can
to
go.
go?
I can go
All right.
quick. I only have like 3 or 4 games because I don't play a whole lot. So, no particular order. Mario Kart World, I got it right away in the Switch 2 bundle. That was the first game I played on Switch 2. It was definitely fun. Going through each individual level, trying to beat 3-star everything, including the knockout tours. Those are fun. I haven't really tried it much since they've fully updated it. Well, I guess quote unquote fully updated. The newest update, I haven't played it yet. But yeah, no, it's kind of been sitting back burner since then, but it was fun when I played it. Donkey Kong Bonanza, definitely I'm about halfway through that. I've been having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy how destructible the world is and the different the feel of kind of an old classic Rare game in a way.
Totally.
So if that's kind of your thing, I definitely highly recommend it. The game that has been taking up the most of my time right now is Age of Imprisonment. I'm trying to get all of the kind of specials unlocked where they learn all their things,
The combos and stuff like that.
all the combos and things like that. That's kind of what I'm working on right now. I think I'm in end of chapter 4, beginning of chapter 5, somewhere in that area. So getting there. But having a blast with it. Then again, I like Warriors games, so there is that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've played really within Switch 2 exclusives. Just looking here. Age of Imprisonment. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much all I've. Kirby Air Riders. I played the demo at PAX. That was a hell of a lot of fun. So I definitely highly recommend. I never played the original, so it doesn't really matter if you played the original or not. It's still fun. So yeah, I think that's all the Switch 2 exclusive games that I've played. So that's the only ones I can really recommend.
Okay. I like those. Those are all great picks. I can agree with that for sure. And just to let everyone know as well, our next topic after this is going to be our top 10 Switch 1 games that are better on Switch 2. Okay. And there might be a little overlap here and there with some of our picks, but these are the games that are for people to try out on Switch 2. Obviously, it's going to be a better experience. And hey, you might actually have these games already, and now they play better on Switch 2, and you don't have to go to the store and spend any money because you already have these games. So just a heads up, if you're given any suggestions in chat, keep in mind we might be holding some of those picks for the next topic. All right. So with that said, go ahead.
Stash, I hate to be this guy. Can I just finish my list real quick? I just need 3 more. Is that okay?
Be that guy, man. Be
okay. Sorry. I've got 3 games. One of them I can't believe I forgot to put on because it's one that I argued about on this podcast when I think we were doing some sort of like a ranking. I forget what we were doing, some sort of a tier ranking, and I got ticked. Bravely Default, the special edition. This is a game that got remastered for Switch. This was one of the best 3DS RPGs. This game is fantastic. Another game Eric mentioned, Kirby Air Riders. I don't own it yet personally. This might be one that's under the Christmas tree for the family, but this game was incredible. It blew my mind at I almost said E3 at PAX West. I wasn't expecting that, especially understanding this is a game that uses one button. It felt like I had no history with the first game. I was already in love with Mario Kart World. I didn't really see a reason to have this one, at least this year. And my experience going hands-on really, really changed that. The game was very impressive. I couldn't believe the high-octane nature of it, how fast and explosive the game felt, as well as how complicated. For a game that doesn't let you drive off the edge and only uses one button, there is a skill level there. I didn't know what I was doing at first. I was bouncing off walls and flying in the wrong direction. I'm like, I got to practice on this. So that one was quite impressive. And then the last one that I want to add to the list, and I believe this game wasn't on Switch 1, but this is a game that was also heavily nominated this year and also offers mouse mode, another benefit of the Switch 2, and that's Split Fiction.
That's a good pick.
That didn't come to Switch 1, right? Am I mistaken?
No, it didn't. It can't even. Yeah. It wouldn't even be able to run.
Right. There you go. That's my 10, and I stand by them.
Okay. I like those. Those are all good picks. We have a nice wide variety here. Obviously, I have some overlap, but I also have some different picks. So this will be good. And I think the pricing is kind of spread out as well. All right. I have to go with these. Now, there are Switch 1 versions of these games. Okay. However, these Switch 2 versions, to me, are the fully realized versions of these games. And it does cost money if you want to upgrade to the Switch 2 version. Unless you have Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack. And that's The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. So again, like we said, some of these might overlap a little bit, but they do have their own Switch 2 SKUs, which is important. Look, guys, these were just ranked, and for whatever value you give to IGN, right? They do some nice lists. They are fun to talk about. Obviously, we discussed it here on the podcast, but they did rank Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. If I recall, was it the 2 best Nintendo games?
Yep, that was the 2 and 1.
Wild. And it's hard to argue. Okay, it's hard to argue. But the way they perform on Switch 2 is insane. When I went to the Switch 2 experience and played these, I captured my footage the best that I could in HDR, uploaded it to YouTube to try and get the best quality possible. But it was still hard for me to illustrate how great it looked in person. And if you guys remember, I was mentioning to all of you, everyone in chat, Bird, Eric, obviously Nate, I was telling you guys that it's night and day difference on Switch 2 with the higher resolution, 60 FPS, the HDR, it's absolutely stunning. So if you've never played these games, you got to play them. And even for me, when I do have an opening in the schedule, I do want to return to Breath of the Wild because I haven't beat it since it came out in March. I think I beat it probably the end of March, early April 2017. So it's been a very long time, and it's time for a return. All right, so those are my first two. Of course, you got to go with Donkey Kong Bonanza. Look, again, this was another game I played at the Switch 2 experience. I got a lot of BS comments on my video on YouTube saying like the game doesn't look good, and the frame rate looks really bad, and this looks really bad, and I'm like, no, this is all false. Like all of it. And I even said that in the video. Like it's just crazy to me. And then of course it came out. We got that direct that changed everybody's mind. And then the rest is history, right? Now we're just waiting to see how many units it sold when the sales report comes out for early next year. Yeah, to see what the Q4 results are, which will be interesting. But yeah, if you're a new Switch 2 owner, you got to get Bonanza. And again, Mario Kart World. Look, there's been a lot of discourse with a lot of Nintendo games, other video games too on other consoles, right? For example, earlier this year, I got 80 hours through on Assassin's Creed Shadows. Okay, I decided to hold, and I announced that on the podcast that I am holding on my review, and this was back in March because I believe it's coming to Switch 2. And I want to play the rest of it there, which is what I'm doing. Almost done. The review will be out soon for that. But that game got a lot of bad press for a variety of reasons. However, gameplay should never have been one of them because I've had a great time playing this game. There may have been some decisions that people don't agree with, and I probably agree with you on that. But as far as, hey, man, is this fun? The reason we play video games, right? The fun factor. Is this a good time? Was this time well spent? Okay. It does numbers there, to say the least, okay? Mario Kart World is similar in that it's gotten a lot of noise. And there's a lot of kind of chronic complaining going on around it. I don't agree with it. And at the same time, there's a big thing that we've talked about a ton on this podcast, but this is not the final version of the game. To try and compare base Mario Kart World to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with 96 tracks, it's illogical. Why would Nintendo release Mario Kart World right now to be better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
It makes no sense at all.
Yeah, it's literally a road map. It's an evergreen roadmap. This is how you continue to get people to buy it. Continue to get people to buy that bundle that is going to show its face again next year. It's tradition. This is what Nintendo does. It doesn't take much guesswork. So outside of that, though, I've had a great time with Mario Kart World for what it is. I've heard the complaints. I understand them. And I can see what you're saying. However, look, it's not that serious, man. It's just not that serious.
It's just begun. It's like you said, people are comparing it to the end of the roadmap for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. People aren't comparing it to how Mario Kart 8 launched on Wii U. They're not. And it would be the equivalent today if we get a brand new Smash Brothers. And I think the safest and smartest assumption is that there's going to be some sort of reimagining of the series. There's going to be a new take.
Yeah.
At the very least, it's not going to launch with not just the amount of characters and content that Ultimate had, but especially not what it had by the end of its entire roadmap. That's insane.
Yeah,
There's going to be a roadmap. It's going to build out into a more dense experience with time.
A good comparison that some of the numbers just came out. I think of earlier this week or maybe at the end of business last week. And that was about Gran Turismo 7 or 8. And they've never had this many players this late into the release. Like this many active players. And it's because they had a roadmap and they followed it. They've continued to sprinkle new content into the game to keep people returning to the game since it's been released. This is not something that they traditionally did in the past. The game eventually became complete. It's very similar to like a live service model, but for a racing game without all the gotcha stuff. I mean, sure, there's ways to spend real money in the game after you've bought it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of games are doing that these days, but that's not it's not the model, so to speak. It's not the real game plan. Sure, they want you to spend more money, but the idea is to sprinkle out content throughout the entire term of the PlayStation 5 and give people a reason who bought the game or who bought PlayStation 4 3 or 4 years into the cycle, or PlayStation 5, I'm sorry, 3 or 4 years into the cycle to go out and buy Gran Turismo. Mm-hmm. Because it still feels like a new game. Because in a sense, it is a new game because they're still updating it constantly. That's what Mario Kart World will do. Okay? So I don't think does anyone think this is not going to happen? That we're not going to get new racers and new tracks and new stuff? Does anyone think this is the final game?
I mean, that would be a very shocking turn of events if this was it.
Yeah, it would.
That would be very shocking and would make no sense from Nintendo's standpoint, like at all. Yeah. Because those DLCs that they do for Mario Kart, not only are they fantastic and enhance the experience, and I mean, man, looking back at like the cost and stuff and how much you got, how one of the best DLCs ever, period. Each one.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. But also from a business standpoint, you're just leaving money on the table for no reason. This game's going to be updated over the course of the next 7 to 8 years. I guarantee you.
Yeah. And look, that's exactly what I'm expecting, guys, is that this is just going to continue to get updates. And look, mentioned it several times on the podcast. That is what I expect. We talked about this prior to the Switch 2 even being out. Like probably 9 to 12 months before it even released that this is the game plan. It's what makes sense. So this is fully what I expect. Also, guys, one of the best soundtracks ever.
Oh, easily.
Dude, like how many people said after they played it, where can I buy this? Or is this on Nintendo Music? Why is it not on Nintendo Music? Like, I would listen to this. You know what I mean? Like, this is something you would buy the album for.
Sorry, random thought before I forget. We're talking about music. Has anyone been on the Nintendo Online app on not on the phone, on Switch 2? There's like the Nintendo Online app. There's Christmas music and a Christmas themed. Yes, dude.
I know.
And it's awesome.
So what were you thinking? Because when I saw that, like Michaela looked up and she saw, the background all Christmassy and then the music, like when I was tabbing through, makes the little jingle. And she's like, how do you get this on like your Switch 2? Like, is this on the home screen? I'm like, no, it's not. I said, that's what we want though. This is what we've talked about on the podcast. I feel like they're teasing us, babe. Like they're setting the table. They're getting us thinking about it. They're planting the seed. What do you think, though?
You got to hope they're planting the seed. And it's like last week, we all talked about ways we thought that, NSO could be enhanced, but, some of that even included just enhancing the Switch 2 experience, talking about trophies. Obviously, we all agree that shouldn't be behind a paywall, but this is one of those things. This is that Nintendo charm that we've all grown up with, that we all love. Yeah, it was weird. I was so excited when I pulled that page up, and I was like, I love this so much. Wasn't just the music; they themed the whole page. It's like looks like Christmas wrapping paper.
Yeah, it's so good.
Really cool. And it's like, man, you'd love to see this on the eShop at the very least. Yeah. Part of me would like, and give the option to turn it off on your home screen. But man, if you could turn on like seasonal jingles on your home screen, it's like you said last week, man. Sometimes you just maybe you stay in that menu a little bit longer, and that's what happened with me.
Yeah,
I went
you
to see
stop
what
a
the
little
new.
bit longer.
I'm a weirdo. I always check for like the new avatars, that they offer, the new icons that you could choose with your points. And so I popped in the music. I was like, I think I'll leave this on for a little bit. And yeah, I had to mention that when you're talking about music, because I was like, we were just talking about this sort of stuff last week.
Yeah, like Michaela and I went to Walmart over the weekend to go pick up a couple Christmas gifts for my godson. And guys, we walk in and I don't notice the music when it's on at Walmart. I don't even know what they play. I don't know if they're playing 70s, 80s, 90s, modern stuff. I have no idea. And if it's modern, I don't know it. I don't know anything past really, truly the 90s. I'm like not exaggerating. So I wouldn't even know it, right? However, we went in and there was no music playing. And all I heard is the big like forklift dollies.
Yeah.
Dude, it was like surround sound, but coming like everyone's like walking towards me with one, and I can hear it coming faster behind me. And I'm like telling Michaela, hey, we gotta move out of the way. Like it's coming for you. You know what I mean? And then it's coming from this way. And it just started like it was like radiating. And I'm just like, oh my God, we need to get the F out of here. Let's hurry up and get this stuff, because like this is a really bad experience, like as far as shopping goes, but it made me think of the eShop, right? It's like, hey, if I go into the eShop and there's some nice music playing, like music as good as Mario Kart World, something like that, or like obviously the Wii music, I might stick around and spend some more money, right? I might shop for a little bit longer. But because that was so annoying, I didn't even go to the video game section to do, my quick walkthrough like I've been doing for the last 30 plus years, right? I didn't even do that because I'm like, I got to get out of here. This is really bad. So, little tangent there, but all right. Next one. I have two from this company. I'm going to hold on them for a second, only because Attack the Backlog jumped in with a $2 super chat in my chat. And look,
I'll get it here. Give me 2 seconds.
I had this on my list. I had this on my list, brother. So Kronos, I'll just say it now. Yes, it's on my list. Absolutely. Love this game. I am working on my review on it. It's once again another game that I'm chipping away at. I have so many that I'm working on for review. So yeah, Kronos, guys, have you played this?
I haven't. This one's on the gotta play list.
Yes, you'll love it. I think especially you would really like it.
In fact, I think I even jumped into a couple. If ATB is still in the chat, I think I jumped in while I was working into a couple of his Chrono streams because I know he was streaming it, and I think I was watching on and off while I was, chipping away at work. But the game looked really cool.
Yeah, absolutely, it's awesome. Dead Space vibes, 80s, Stranger Things a little bit. It is very cool. It is a very cool game from what I've played so far. And then, of course, I did jump in to Attack the Backlogs chat and watch that. So, yeah, that I got two here from Ubisoft. I'm surprised you guys didn't mention Star Wars Outlaws or Assassin's Creed Shadows, only because these games are like...
I mentioned Shadows.
Okay, they're like the flagships for what a third party can do on Switch 2, along with, of course, another game that I gotta mention Cyberpunk.
Yep.
I mean, absolute banger on Switch too. But look, these are games again that Star Wars Outlaws had some controversy going into the game. And then it didn't help that during launch weekend, for like everybody who pre-ordered this game, there was a bug. And so like all the pre-order people got the game early access, like 3 or 4 days early.
Mm-hmm.
Then the day one patch comes out and you have to download it. Like you can't start your game without it. So people downloaded the patch and it erased their save. So that early access that they paid to get, so they could have spent 40 hours and then kissed it goodbye.
Ooh.
So so between some of the other stuff I won't even talk about going into the release, and then that happened too, it was obviously a compounding effect. Now time has passed. There's been a DLC. Things have been ironed out. Obviously, we all got to play it at PAX at the Nintendo behind closed doors meeting. And look, this game just keeps getting better with each patch. And it doesn't have that stigma surrounding it anymore. And from what I've gathered, it's doing pretty damn good on Switch too. And again, the same thing with AC Shadows, right? It's been getting patches. It just had a patch on the 17th or 18th, I believe. I think they may have announced another one's already coming, but they're doing things to iron these games out. And as Switch 2 owners, we got these games after they kind of went through all that stuff on PS5 and Xbox Series. So when they ported it over, we kind of got the best version of what they worked on there, but for a Switch 2 version. So of course, I don't mean best version like best graphics and best frame rate, but the most bug-free, you could say, version. And so I think we made out pretty well there. Another one is Fast Fusion.
Good pick.
Yeah, dude, this game's so good. I had so much fun playing it because, well, like, first off, this game did a very good job taking advantage of the Switch 2 hardware. There's 120 frames, 4K. I think there's 4 or 5 graphic modes that you can choose from. And I like all of them except for the 30 frames. Everything that's 60 or 120 is awesome. The graphics look beautiful. The only way you're going to see, like, I don't know, things that don't look great is if you pause the game. Like, it's so fast that you don't see this stuff. You know what I mean? Like some of the things that folks focus on, it's like, I don't even see that when I'm playing. We're going 120 frames per second, man. We're not looking at that. Dude, we're just trying to stay on the track. We're trying to get first right now, man. We're not, that's it. I'm not looking at the trees over here. I gotta keep my eyes on the road. Otherwise, we're gonna crash this car. Right?
Yep.
So that game I reviewed on my channel. You guys get this for $14.99. And it already has free DLC. That's free updates. It has more tracks that were free. Like, I don't understand personally why they're being so generous. I really don't. I appreciate it. But it's like you could have charged more. And I think people would have paid, but it's like Silk Song. You could have charged more. But haven't they sold like 6 million copies? Yeah, they're set for life. Their families are too. It's a small team. They're set for life, man, which is awesome. All right, couple more.
Stash, real quick.
Yeah.
I want to get this one in here too. Tag the Backlog says, how to me. Happy Christmas to you all, Mr. Stash, GameBird, and Eric. So,
Merry Christmas, brother.
Thank you, brother. Merry Christmas. Okay. I'm going to save a few of these for our next one, but let me say, I mean, I do, look, I know Prime is on Switch 1. Okay. I know it is. But Prime on Switch 2 is absolutely gorgeous. Like, I had so much fun playing this game on the projector in 4K 60. I tested out 1080, 120. That's also what I played at the Switch 2 experience. It's great. I just don't feel like this game requires 120.
Right.
I also haven't really experienced a lot of games where I'm like, I need that extra 60 frames. I don't know about you guys, but I'd have to look. Like, Star Wars Dark Forces Remastered on PS5, I played that at 120 frames. That made a difference, but that is also an old game being remastered, and something about it made it feel so much smoother. But I think when we're talking like modern games, modern tech, I just don't know. I don't know how much it's needed.
Yeah, I think I'm too old to I'm getting too old. My reflexes are too slow, or my brain is too slow to notice the difference. But like you said, I think it's great that Prime offers it. Prime doesn't feel like the kind of game that needs it. Really, when I think of a game that would benefit from it, it's something that you need very snappy, quick reflexes, something maybe more competitive, where you're really going to feel the difference. Whereas Prime it's not that kind of a game. Yes, there's intense battles in it and intense boss fights in it, but really the game is paced very slowly. It's about discovery and wonder and exploration and puzzle solving. It's not that kind of shooter. So
yeah, completely agree, man. Yeah, it's not a competitive shooter. If there was like a online multiplayer,
sure,
I would play that at 120 because I'd want to make sure I'm not at a disadvantage in any way, shape, or form, right? I think we would all probably want to do that. All right, so I think it's my last pick. It's going to be an unconventional pick, okay? But it has to be said because this is only available on Nintendo Switch 2. And that is the NSO expansion pack. It's $50 for the entire year, and you get Nintendo GameCube games. They're only available on Switch 2. They're not on Switch 1. It's a Switch 2 exclusive. Yeah. And, I was going through the games for something I'm working on, right? And it's like, we have Wind Waker. Doesn't need any sort of introduction, right? F-Zero GX looks really good. One thing that I was very excited about during the Switch 2 Direct was when they said all of these games will run at a higher resolution than their base games. I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted. This is what I predicted, several months ago, that these they'd perform better at a higher resolution. And sure enough, they are. I don't know how they do it. I don't need to know. I'm the consumer. I'm just here to enjoy it, right? But you got F-Zero GX, which, God, that game looks stunning. And look, I love F-Zero 99, which is another benefit of the Nintendo Switch Online. I love it. Honestly, whenever I need to log in to get points on Switch 2 where I got to play an online game, there's other games I could play, but I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll boot up F-Zero. And I feel like I'm going to play for maybe one race just so I can collect my coins, right? And buy something from the Nintendo shop. But what ends up happening is I end up playing it longer because it is a really fun time. But GX, man, it's the real deal. It still looks gorgeous today. You got Soul Calibur too, which when I bought Dreamcast when it came out, I bought Soul Calibur. And when I played that, I'm like, this is the best fighting game I've ever played. And that's as someone who grew up playing, of course, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, played all the games leading up to it. And I played Soul Calibur. I'm like, dude, this game is so good. The soundtrack was so good. The gameplay. So to have Soul Calibur 2, with Link, right? Because the GameCube version was the best version. It wasn't the Xbox one with Spawn. And PlayStation had, who was it? Was it someone from Tekken? If I
It
recall?
was, it was Heihachi. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right, so those were the games we got to start with, right? Since then, we've gotten Super Mario Strikers, which you can play online now. To me, this is such a novelty that we can play games that didn't have the internet growing up. The fact that I can play Nintendo 64 games online now, online multiplayer. Like the internet was just coming out in 1996. Like 95 was like kind of when AOL was pretty much brand new, right? From what I remember. And so to be able to go back and play these games with online, just I think breathes new life into them. So we got Strikers. Then we got what? Luigi's Mansion.
Yep.
Finally. Got Chibi Robo.
Great
and
game.
again, that was a game that when it was being previewed back in the day, I knew it was going to be a great game, and I knew it was going to be severely underappreciated, and that one day this is one of those games that people will look back on and be like, this was a good game if they ever played it. Thanks to the NSO GameCube, it's not a great risk now to re-release it. It's only a benefit to people. Right? Because you're not going out to the store to buy this game. That would be the risk. You already have the NSO expansion pack membership. So this is a bonus to you. Go play it, try it. If you don't like it, no big deal. But chances are, if you play it, you're probably going to like it. And so that's kind of cool. And then, of course, we got Wario World. We know that Mario Sunshine's on the way. Pokemon Coliseum, Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness, and then Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Those are the ones that were previewed. But guys, I mean, we know there's so much more coming. Wave Race Blue Storm with higher resolution. Can't wait. Cannot wait. So this is, I have to include this as a game for everyone to get because you get more games out of it. Like if you spent 50 now, by the time 12/23, 2026 rolls around, I mean, how many more games do you think we're going to have on GameCube NSO? I'd say, I don't know, probably 8 to 10 more games.
Sure.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the gift that keeps giving. It's a great investment. You invest now and you get more games later. Kind of a win-win. Not to mention you get all the other games too. You get N64, you get SNES, you get Sega Genesis, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, NES, and a lot of them now have online multiplayer. Like I was researching this. We could play Tecmo Bowl on the NSO multiplayer. So with online, which again is nuts to play an NES game online, and you can play it with Game Chat. This is pretty cool, dude. Because that was such a great couch co-op experience growing up, was playing Tecmo Bowl, and it's one of those games that even if you don't like football, you can pick it up and play, just like NBA Jam. Even if you don't like basketball, you can pick up, play, and enjoy Jam. Tecmo Bowl is the same way. So I was thinking about it. I'm like, dude, we need to get down on some Tecmo Bowl. Because it's so easy. Turn the camera on. That would be fun.
That would be fun.
All right. I saved my other picks for the next topic. Okay.
Do we want to go into our kind of our
Awesome.
topic?
I'll pull up an image for it. Give me 1 second. Because I think this is a fun one. Let me grab it really quick. Here we go. All right. Yeah, I want to pull up this tweet just because we got a little interesting excerpt, and I think we could have a little bit of fun speculating. Since we're talking about Switch 2 exclusives, and Stealth posted on Twitter just the other day, Bloober Team CEO Piotr Babieno says Nintendo's exclusive Project M is a vision that could only exist on Nintendo hardware. Quote, "You have no idea how hard it is for me not to reveal what Project M truly is, but for now, it's still too early to talk about it. We're confident that we'll be able to share the first details very soon. What I can say is this: fans of Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Limbo, Eternal Darkness will immediately feel at home. That said, Project M introduces a bold twist, one that no horror game has ever explored before. This is a vision that could only exist on Nintendo hardware." Not only is this a very exciting tweet, Bloober's been crushing it lately, by the way.
Yeah.
But I find the end of this tweet really interesting, and I'd love to get your guys' perspective, because he says this is a vision that could only exist on Nintendo hardware. And he previously says one that no horror game has ever explored before. My mind went to one thing with this. So I'm just curious your guys' thoughts before I jump over. I know he name drops Eternal Darkness, but my mind went to, is this an Eternal Darkness remake? Because that line, "This is a vision that could only exist on Nintendo hardware," that to me says the trademarked sanity system that we've never gotten in a game because that system can only exist on Nintendo hardware. Or is it a remake, or is it a new vision that uses the sanity system? Is this a successor? And I know we almost got one. There was that crowd-funded successor that ultimately didn't pan out. But what are your guys' thoughts when you see something like this or hear something like this? What kind of project do you think it could be? What do you think he means by no other horror game has explored this before, and this is a vision that can only exist on Nintendo hardware? My mind goes to, like I said, Eternal Darkness. But curious your guys' thoughts. Free for all, whoever wants to jump in.
I'll just jump in real quick. The part that gets me is could only exist on Nintendo hardware. So what the hell does that mean? Does it mean that like there's going to be some sort of docking and undocking that you have to do, during the game or something like that? Because I mean, what else is there that would stand out? Go ahead. Yeah.
That's why I was thinking maybe something to do with Eternal Darkness, because there's a mechanic in the game called the sanity system where your character actually starts going crazy, and it really adds to the immersion and vibe of that game in a way that makes it super unique. But that mechanic's been trademarked, so no other games used it before. It's just been locked away with an old GameCube game. So that's why I was thinking that. I was like, locked to it, like only exist on, that sounds like Eternal Darkness. But yeah, I mean, they could come up with some weird use of the hardware that we've never seen before.
Yeah, because that's the part that sticks out to me the most is what do they mean by that? Because I mean, you look at the Xbox, you look at the PS5, those are just under desks, or under TV consoles. The big difference between them and the Switch 2 is that it's that you can dock and undock things. So is there some sort of mechanic that you got to be sitting next to your dock, which is going to be interesting, but you never know.
It's interesting. Or something with the mouse. I don't know what they could do with the mouse to make it interesting, considering we get horror games on PC. But Stash Man, did you have any thoughts? Did your mind go to Eternal Darkness like mine on this? Because right away, even though, like I said, even though he name drops, fans of it will appreciate it. I don't think that rules out the possibility that it's adjacent or related.
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing I thought was this would have to be something hardware specific to Nintendo Switch 2, like something you can only do here. When I saw them mention Eternal Darkness, I'm like, okay, well, it's not that, because they wouldn't name drop it
Sure.
because then it wouldn't be a surprise. And then they say that no horror game has ever explored it. So it's not the
Sure.
sanity system. Could it utilize things from the sanity system? Sure. However, with the statement this bold, I feel like it wouldn't resemble it at all, because if it did,
Sure.
everyone would be like, oh, this is just copying the sanity system.
Sure.
Right? That's how the internet
Sure.
would react. So I was like, okay, what on the Nintendo Switch 2 hardware could make this unique? What is unique, right? You think about things, PS5, they have a camera. It's not a camera. Obviously the DualSense has the features that it does. Switch 2 has the HD Rumble 2. Similar, it's not that. So what could it be that we're not thinking of? Is it something with the mouse Joy-Con? That is something that is exclusive to Switch 2.
What if, random thought that just came to my mind again, this would be something, this would be a vision that could only exist on Nintendo hardware. What if it's some sort of, they're working with a Nintendo IP?
Yeah.
What if it's some sort of a crossover or some sort of, I know we have horror like Luigi's Mansion. A vision that could only exist on Nintendo hardware would be utilizing Nintendo characters or worlds. Do we think that's out of the realm of possibility? I'm just trying to think a little bit outside the box of what that means.
What could the M stand for?
Sure.
I mean, it's not Mario.
That would be insane. A horror Mario.
Yeah. But what it's like, what IP? I mean, obviously I'd love to see Eternal Darkness, right? Like that's what I would love to see. I don't think it's that, because he mentioned it. But what could
even
it
a
be?
sequel though? Because Eternal Darkness could rule out
Could
a
be a
remake.
sequel.
It's not a remake. But a sequel could introduce some sort of system that never existed.
Well, if you think
But do you
about
think-
it,
Yeah.
what if like Bloober Team's done a very good job?
Yep.
They've done a really good job.
Yep.
Done a really good job.
Yep.
What if they approached Nintendo or Nintendo approached them because there was interest from one of the parties about Eternal Darkness? We are seeing more horror games on Switch 2 already, but on Nintendo consoles in general. Obviously, we had Emio, which is sort of, there's some elements to it, right? I mean, when we went over its ESRB rating, it's pretty dark. But that's what I gotta ask. I think they see an opportunity on Nintendo to bring more horror games. Resident Evil's done well.
So ATB is saying for us to check out the teaser. Eric, would you be able to pull that up for us? So ATB's, he's in my chat right now. He's saying, dude, I'm editing a video on it now, and I think it's Nintendo IP. Check out the teaser, dude. I think it's got gameplay hints. If we could pull that up, that would be
trailer
awesome.
for Project Dub. Yeah, I see that.
Sweet.
Give me 2 seconds here.
Hell yeah. Thank you, ATB. Appreciate the suggestion on that one.
Thank you, ATB.
Let's go grab that.
But I love this sort of stuff. Like even when Nintendo was, and I know this isn't a Nintendo tease, this is from Bloober themselves, but when companies do these little things where they give you just enough of a morsel to get the juices flowing and all the weird thoughts, when Nintendo did its weird Emio kind of like PR stuff before we knew what it was, that shit was so cool.
Yeah, they did a good job on that.
I completely forgot about this teaser, by the way.
Play the audio or not?
I wouldn't.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's just play the visuals.
Am I full screen? I got to see what this looks like. Sorry. No, I'm not. Okay. I will put this full screen.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this.
I forgot about this. For people listening, let's go into the trailer. Right.
Now. Yeah, right.
Cue the crickets.
The only other thing I could think of too would be using game chat too.
Yeah.
What in the heck? Random cube? What? The giant explosion. Okay. Changed into a different person? What the hell is going on here? If I could read Japanese, that'd be great.
Interesting.
What in the... Okay. Fist fight. Oh god.
That's interesting right there.
Oh, well, you could choose whether to fist fight or gun fight or something different. Yeah.
That reminded me of like a Quantic Dream game a little bit.
Same. Yeah, like Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
Love that game. Okay. Do you think this is actual gameplay where it goes? No, probably not.
I think that's gameplay.
Where it went split screen?
Oh, maybe not. Maybe not.
Man.
This is interesting.
And then earlier they had something that looked like a skill tree of decisions you could make. It was like branching off.
This looks like this to me.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say this does look so much to me like a Quantic Dream type game. Which I love. I love Quantic Dream. Heavy Rain is one of my favorite.
Yeah. I really like Detroit Become Human. I did get I got the platinum on that because I enjoyed it so much. Well, graphically this looks really good.
Yeah, right.
At the beginning of the trailer,
it's beautiful.
I was looking pretty hard to see if that was real or if it was a video game.
Yeah, I mean, it almost looked like a Nintendo Direct right away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch it with audio because I feel like maybe
I just don't know if they're gonna hit this with a copyright claim or anything like that. So that's why I just didn't want to, test it. And
so ATV says that's not the one.
Oh, that's not the one. Okay.
I'm not sure.
Unreal.
Hey, dude.
Yeah, right.
It's from their side studio, Broken Mirror Games.
Okay, that was okay. So we may not have watched the right thing. Crud.
I'm not sure.
Well, I'll see if I can figure this out. Broken Mirror Games.
Too bad you can't share a link in the chat.
Yeah, right.
I know.
ATB, go ahead and shoot Nate a Discord message with the link, and I'll pull that up.
Yeah, I want to see the one he's talking about.
Or send it to Stash or GameBird. That actually might be easier.
Yeah, send it to DM me with it if you want. So yeah, I want to check that out. Okay, so we'll take a look at that, I guess, when it comes up. In the meantime.
Yeah. One more kind of that fits our kind of half, subtopic. Sorry.
Yeah.
He was yelling at you in my chat saying, yes, that's it. Scroll down.
Oh, well, crap.
We're all good.
Yeah. So Mistake says, Merry Christmas. If you were only able to recommend one Switch 2 game you absolutely have to have from this year, regardless of first or third party, AAA or indie, what would it be?
Oof. First off, thank
That's a
you.
tough one.
Thank you,
thank
Steak.
Steak.
Looks like Steak did the same thing as well on his channel too. I'm guessing.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you always.
Oops.
Oh, one game. I mean,
That's really hard.
it's what if we can say get the Switch 2 bundled with Mario Kart and then buy Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Yes. I like that
That's
idea.
what I would say, because then you're covering some bases here, right? You got your major replay value. DK Bonanza also has a lot of replay value after you beat it. There's more things to do. You can 100% it. There's DLC now. I would say get the Mario Kart bundle and buy DK Bonanza. Final answer.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because look, dude, it's an exclusive. If you could get more, I'd say other games, right? Like Prime. Definitely say get Prime. But yeah, DK Bonanza is where it's at.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree.
I'd say DK Bonanza, or man, I think it really depends. I think DK Bonanza is a really safe one. If you live alone, I don't know that I'd say Mario Kart's the one. If you have a significant other, or you live with your family, or have siblings, or you have friends over all the time, Mario Kart is an easy pick. Guys, I got to be that guy who says, if I could, part of it, I just really want to promote this series, but I really think there's something in this game for everyone, and that's Yakuza 0. It's a beat 'em up that is heavily story driven, hundreds of mini games, so much fun, epic boss fights. You get the director's cut with an online multiplayer component. Guys, play some Yakuza. We got to grow this series. It's exploded with the most recent entry, but spread the word.
Okay. I'm gonna just throw this one up here too, because Steak then coming over here. Tall show, we hit the streak.
Hell yeah.
Merry Christmas to everyone. Prayers to Prime family. And then I'm trying to remember, was it Charles, I believe, in chat sent us the trailer, so I have that. Give me just a second here to pull it up.
I sent it to you too, just because I'm on one screen in
Yeah.
case for whatever reason, if the link doesn't work or it's the wrong one. Perfect.
No, this one should be it.
Perfect.
So this one, no, okay, so now this is the correct one, I believe, because it's from in the Broken Mirror games. So, all right, yeah, this is way different already.
Got some string theory.
Yeah, right.
Looks like red and blue pill.
Yep, right.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Oh,
Wait, but no, now they're gray.
Never mind.
What the? Okay.
More strings.
Yep. Yeah, red and
Drawing
blue pill.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Red and blue
Door-
door, yeah.
So choice. So this is going to be a choice-driven game.
Yeah.
Which is definitely a Quantic Dreams type game.
Yep. Puppet.
Interesting.
Gino,
Okay.
baby. It's a Gino exclusive.
Oh, a Gino crossover. Nate would hate it. or maybe he'd buy it just to oh crud. Just to beat Gino up.
Yeah, just to punch him in the face.
Dude, that was the oddest thing ever on the
Right.
podcast.
Yeah, it was.
Great.
I love it.
All right. Anything? I think that's pretty much it for the super chats that kind of touched on the
Well, guys, For the chat, homework, sound off in the comment section. Let us know your thoughts on what you think this might be. Any clues from those two trailers? What you think that new experience, the reason why it's only possible on a Nintendo hardware? Let us know.
Yeah, because I don't have an inkling right now, not yet, as to what that could be.
Yeah, my Eternal Darkness stuff kind of went out the window with those two trailers. But listen, I'm a dreamer, guys. Sorry, I just really want some Eternal Darkness back.
I do too. Yeah, I really hope that comes to GameCube NSO.
Yep.
It would be a real shame if it didn't. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's jump in the next topic then. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So this will be our top 10 Switch 1 games that are better on Switch 2. Now, of course, there's a lot of benefit to this. If you're patient, you can wish list these games on the eShop, which is something I do. And I can be patient because I do have quite a backlog and I have a lot of games that I have to review right now. So I'll wish list them, and then as soon as they go on sale for something that is really good, then I pull the trigger, right? So these are great because they can range in price. And obviously with Christmas here, they just started a big sale, I think, yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I went from like 6 or 7 games on my wish list that were on sale to 24. I was like, oh, wow, what happened? You know? And of course, there was some that were some crazy good savings. So it's a great way to build your library. Yeah, great way to build your library up and, you know, play some games that are going to perform significantly better on your Nintendo Switch 2. So with that said,
I don't know about you guys. I do a lot of my eShop shopping on the app now. I actually really love the app.
I do too.
I got to be honest.
Yeah. I do it too.
It's really nice.
It is.
I think this might be my favorite app that Nintendo's made so far.
Yeah. I like it a lot. Someone, okay. Cody WB in my chat is saying Mirror's Edge 3.
Here's the
but
thing,
this could be a horror game, right?
That's what I assumed. And the only possible on Nintendo hardware, I don't see the correlation with Mirror's Edge.
I don't either.
There was no parkour in the trailer.
There wasn't the first one.
I guess there was a little bit. Yeah.
The wrong one, but
all right. Who would like to kick us off then?
I could jump in again. I've got more than 10 on my list.
Okay, good.
And guys, there's just to get this out of the way, there's way more than 10 games that I recommend that run better on Switch 1. Some of them just didn't come to mind in this moment. These are just ones that, like, doing a quick think through. I think I have 13. I actually only did 13 because I was like, well, I can't leave this one out. I can't leave this one out. So there's way more than this. This is just kind of a quick little overview of ones that I highly recommend right out the gate, whether or not you never got around to it on Switch 1, or maybe you started it but didn't finish it, or you want to do a second playthrough. 2 of these Stash mentions in his first list, but I got to mention them here because I think they're the pinnacle of great on Switch 1, amazing on Switch 2, and that's Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. These games are glorious on the new hardware, buttery smooth. Any of that frame dips and stuttering is gone, and instead you have something that's more vibrant, silky smooth, and just an unbelievable experience. These, like Stash said, both of these games were rated the 2 best Nintendo games of all time, and there is no denying that the best place, period, to play these games is on Switch 2. Period. Mm-hmm. So I have to mention those. There's another Zelda game that I put on this list, though. This is a charming little Zelda experience that I love very much, but did stutter and struggle with some performance issues, and that's Link's Awakening remake.
Mm-hmm.
guys, this game runs fantastic on Switch 2. And if you guys are new to the Zelda series, if maybe you started with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and you've never played a top-down Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom is great, but Link's Awakening is actually one of my favorite Zelda games of all time. It's one of my favorite top-down Zeldas ever. It's just a really, really cool game that, similarly to Majora's Mask, kind of had a little bit of fun with the series. Like you got the Chomp Chomp from Mario in the game and a lot of quirky stuff like that in there. This is one you definitely should check out. Great bosses, wonderful diorama, toys to life type art style, and just a great time. Great music too. So highly recommend that one. Here's a 2-for-1. If you're a Pokemon fan and maybe you dipped out of Scarlet and Violet because the performance was so ass, or maybe you never got around to finishing Legends Arceus because the game is so big. Both of these games, especially Scarlet and Violet, run exponentially better. Very noticeable right out the gate. More polished. Scarlet and Violet ditches that stop motion in the classroom for silky smooth gameplay. It's not the prettiest game, but if you're going to play a Switch 1 Pokemon game on Switch 2, these two, you feel a significant jump, in my opinion. Here's one that is a no-brainer. All you got to do is watch a trailer for this game to know that this was a massive leap on Switch 2, and that's Hogwarts Legacy. This is a game that on Switch 1 was a very impressive port, but the game looked like it was smeared, like your screen was smeared with Vaseline, muddy, blurry textures. Obviously not the premium way. You play it on Switch 1 if you have no other way to play it. On Switch 2, that's not the case. It's not if you have no other way. This is actually a great place to play it. And if you want Hogwarts Legacy at home or on the go, it looks fantastic and runs fantastic. So I have to mention that one. This is one I put on the list, not for anything right now, but for what's to come and very soon. And that's Animal Crossing, guys. Animal Crossing has a massive update coming next month. This is one of the most popular games on the Switch 1. What better place than to get it on Switch 2 with some of the enhancements, but also landing with a huge content drop. So I threw this one on here. In a similar fashion, I added Mario Wonder. This is another game. This is one of the best Switch 1 games, period. One of the best platformers on the system, and it's getting a nice update next year. So if you missed that one or you never finished it, this is a great game to pick up and play. It's got additional content coming, really good stuff. Now we're going to dive into some third-party stuff. This is just stuff that I just straight up recommend on Switch 2. Diablo 3. I'm a big Diablo fan. Diablo 3, it does run better. Key thing right here. If you play Diablo 3 with friends, if you have friends who play this game, we now have built-in voice chat on the Switch 2. So you can play with your friends. You can chat, do your dungeon runs. It's a much better experience on Switch 2. I highly it's such a great game. I think in a lot of ways Diablo 3 is actually better than Diablo 4. But a game that I can't recommend enough. 2 indie games I have to throw on here. Both of them nominees this year in multiple categories. That's Silk Song and Hades 2. These are 2 of the best indies this year. They're stunning, beautiful visuals, beautiful art style, incredible soundtracks, and they both run phenomenally, better than ever on Switch 2. You got the bigger screen when you're on the go. You got those beautiful deep blacks, beautiful colors, and 120 frames per second mode on Silk Song, which is glorious if you enjoy that sort of thing, but just a nice addition to have. I have one on here that's a very special game to me. This is a game that was snubbed in the nominations. It, in my opinion, was the second best RPG. The second best RPG last year, or this year, sorry. Trails in the Sky. First chapter. Unbelievable game. Guys, get this game on Switch 2. Support this RPG. It's amazing. They've already confirmed that Trails in the Sky Chapter 2 is coming in 2026. Really exciting stuff. And this is a series that got better and better. A lot of people who are new to this, who like praise and love first chapter, The first game isn't known as the top tier game in the series, and the game crushed. So check this one out. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here's another one on my list. You guys love Animal Crossing. Maybe you're a little burnt out, but you want something cozy and something fun. Well, there's a game that I like even more than Animal Crossing. I think it blows it out of the water, in fact, and that's the new Fantasy Life. Guys, this game kicks ass. And not only does it kick ass, but the Switch 2 upgrade is like $1.99. They're adding new content regularly to this game. You like Animal Crossing? You get that town building, bringing in new townspeople. You've got your side quests, your main quest, your dungeon crawling, multiple classes with skill trees and leveling and all that great stuff. The crafting is made up of mini games that you do to do the crafting. It's an unbelievable game. It feels like one part Animal Crossing, one part Stardew Valley, one part Zelda. It's awesome. And I highly recommend that one. I think that's everything that I put down for this list, but this doesn't even scratch the surface. Honestly, anything that's on the Switch is better on Switch 2 at this point. Even, we talk about, I think all of us added Age of Calamity to our best, Age of Imprisonment to our best Switch 2 experiences. Age of Calamity is a game that actually runs better. There's been no there's no Switch 2 version. It's just a game that runs and performs better on the Switch 2 because of the added power. So Switch 1 games, they kick ass. And guess what? They're only going to be getting better because we already know games like Xenoblade Chronicles X and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door have been data mined to have enhanced versions. So that's my list.
Good list.
No,
Very comprehensive. I like it.
Yeah. I can jump in here real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, the games that I've played are both, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. They run fantastic. Now I went back and replayed the final battle and Tears of the Kingdom. Oh my god, it's freaking awesome still. But even better now it's on Switch too. As for ones that I haven't played but have kind of read about a little bit, that I have but need to go back and still test them out, would be Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. They got that Switch 2 update.
Yep.
As well as Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I know there's some few things in there that would chug along. So I need to go back and kind of see. Actually, I think I need to finish that game still. I don't think I've actually finished that game. So that'll be on my list of games to go back and see how they perform now on Switch 2 versus Switch 1. And then finally, one of my really fun games that I enjoyed on Switch 1, the Plucky Squire apparently runs quite a bit better on the Switch 2 versus Switch 1. So
yeah, I
might have to go back and try that one again just to kind of, replay a little bit of it because, man, that was a fun game.
Yep. Good picks, man.
Yeah.
Really good picks. All right. Man, I got a lot here. I'll go through them quick. Okay. Let's see. Trials of Mana is a game I tested out. That's running at 60 FPS now. Before it was 30. I love the Mana games. Big fan. And you can get it usually at a good deal. Once again, this is one you can get on sale. The Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, of course.
That's when I have to go back and play again.
Here's one. So Resident Evil 5, 6, Revelations 1 and 2 all run at 60 FPS now on Switch 2. They didn't before. So they're 30 frames on Switch 1. Those are really good ones to get. And again, they go on sale all the time. I think I saw them for under $10 each. And I think I've seen Revelations for possibly $4.99, I think, which is insane for the amount of content you're getting for these games too. Darksiders 1 and 3. Darksiders 2.
Oh my gosh,
It's
great
still 30.
picks.
Yeah, thanks, man. They're running at 60 now. I have, I have a master kind of list that I've worked on. I've been super busy though, so I've been able to work on them as much. But when it first came out, Switch 2, I was working on a lot of these, and those are great pickups right there. The
Yeah,
Ninja
I
Gaiden
forgot
Master
about that
Collection.
series.
They were 30
That's
frames
great.
before, or one of them was 30. The other ones, I think there was two of them that aimed for 60 but didn't hit it. But they're all 60 now. And again, once again, these go on sale all the time. You mentioned Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Completely agree. I agree with Echoes of Wisdom, Link's Awakening, Mario Odyssey, of course. If you've never played Mario Odyssey, definitely play it. It's 100% worth it. And, runs beautifully now. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. That's a big one for me because that is a Switch 1 game. And it's in 4K on Switch 2. And it looks absolutely beautiful. Here's another one. Neo, The World Ends With You. Excellent game. This is a game that, for people who've played it, they love it. And they sing its praises, right? It's running 60 FPS now on Switch 2 and has better loading time. I think Hogwarts Legacy is an obvious one, but I'll throw it out there. Because that's like a night and day difference for Hogwarts Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a game that I had reviewed. GameBird, you reviewed it as well. It's Ruffy and the Riverside.
Yeah, great pick.
It runs at 60 FPS on Switch 2 now. And it's quite enjoyable. That really helps.
I hope we get a Ruffy too. I want to see the return of. I love that copy paste swap mechanic so much. I hope we get to revisit those characters in that world again.
Me too, man. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully, a lot of people pre-ordered it through limited run, and they can take that money and put it into developing the next game, working on the next thing. Here's a game that I just reviewed, and I loved this game on Switch 1, but I was compelled to review it on Switch 2 because of the amount of DLC that it's got since I reviewed it, and because it's 4K 60 FPS now, and on Switch 1 it was 720p. It was quite the glow up, right? Mm-hmm. And on Switch 1 it didn't hit 60. It aimed for it, but it did have frame drops. However, the frame drops weren't a big deal, and I mentioned that in my review originally. But that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate Switch 2 edition. Excellent. The upgrade price is, I think, $2.49. Just like Fantasy Life, it's one of those really generous upgrades that are super inexpensive. Yes, I see those turtles, man. What kind of what figures are those? Are those NECAs?
They're NECA. Yeah, they're from the Bebop and Rocksteady are obviously from the 80s cartoon, but these are the live action NECA turtles.
They're so realistic.
They're so awesome. I love them so much.
So I remember the first time I saw NECA figures was at Toys R Us when Toys R Us was still open, and they had like the boxes that came in where there's like a Velcro sticky on there, and you could open it up and like see inside. They had like Contra.
Oh wow!
Like, they had a lot of different like video game ones. Like, oh, this is crazy. Like, these look really good. Ever since then, respect. Just like first four figures.
Yep,
such high quality work.
Yeah, no, they great figures. Unfortunately, NECA, I don't know if it's still a problem. When I got the turtle, like, dude, I was on the hunt. Scalpers, man, there's a huge scalping problem with even NECA figures. It's wild, especially with the turtle stuff. People would like, because like each figure, they are expensive figures. They're like 30 a piece, 35 a piece. But people would buy them up and then they resell on eBay for like 150. a
Oh,
piece.
yeah. I
Is what they
believe it.
do. It's wild, but yeah.
Classic. Here's one. This is another one I'm working on for review. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Hell yeah.
Or I'm sorry, Red Dead Redemption Switch 2. Not part 2. Part 2 is not out yet, but we know it's coming. We know it's coming. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption on Switch 2. I love this game. Yeah, I beat it back in the day. Beat it on my 360 before I got the old red ring of death. I had to put her down and bury the 360. But man, that game was special.
I think Red Dead Redemption is my favorite Rockstar game of all time. The first one. I love it so much.
I like it more than GTA. I do.
I'm not controversial, I know, but I'm not a big GTA fan. I've liked one game in the series. Can you guess what one it is? Can anyone guess?
Vice City?
Like, yeah. Vice City.
That's my favorite one too.
Yeah.
The soundtrack
Vice City
is so good.
Dude, it's killer, man. In the setting of like Miami in the 80s with all the neon and
yeah, it's like Miami Vice.
Yeah, dude. I love Vice City so much, and I haven't cared for any GTA after that. It's just not my type of game. I understand the technical achievement and marvel of the series, but Red Dead Redemption, on the other hand, the first game, that game's so special to me. I love it. And what an ending. What a way to end that adventure. Wild.
That was wild. Yeah. That was a very special experience. I don't want to say what happened, but that was something I remember in detail today. And I beat this the year it came out. So what was it? When did it come out? 2000. Oh man. 7, 8, 9, somewhere in that area. 7, 8, or 9, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember the ending perfectly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a great one, guys. And again, you can pick up Red Dead on sale and then upgrade to the Switch 2 version. Final Fantasy Tactics. Got to give love to that. You can buy the Switch 1 version and upgrade, or you can buy the Switch 2 version. Up to you. Switch 2 version's a key card. Switch 1 version's not. Again, or you can just buy it digitally and just not even deal with any of it. But man, this game is so perfect for handheld play. I absolutely love it. You can spend an insane amount of hours playing these games. Couple more. No Man's Sky. The ultimate comeback story. It just doesn't go away. Got a Switch 2 edition. Obviously, runs much better now. And here's one that's coming out soon. Michaela's looking forward to it. Obviously, you mentioned Animal Crossing, and she's looking forward to that. The other one she's looking forward to is Stardew Valley Switch 2 edition, which their Twitter account just teased that they have something they're going to be announcing soon. And of course, the last Nintendo Direct, Stardew Valley was in there for a Switch 2 edition. I have a feeling it actually might come this year, which I know we only have 8 days left, but I'm guessing it's going to come between now and New Year's. I think that's a great game for that time too, for that timing window. I think it's a good holiday game to cozy up to for the cozy gamers. And if they do that, I mean, hey, get your game out before Animal Crossing, because once Animal Crossing comes out, people might not pay attention, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would be wise for them to strike now if they can, as far as that's concerned. Because how often are you going to have something like Animal Crossing hit the calendar to where if you strategically make sure to dodge that bullet, you'll do okay. So hopefully they do that, because I want to see them do well. She loves that game. A lot of people love Stardew Valley.
Oh yeah, game's huge.
The only other one I'll say, guys, is like I download it, Divinity Original saying I download the upgrade. I already had the game. I haven't played it yet though, because like I do have games I'm working on that are under embargo, so like I have to do that. But I'm really hoping it's going to be good. And I do have Skyrim, but also I know the deal with Skyrim. I know it's getting a patch, but haven't played it yet. I have the upgrade already ready to go. Just haven't had time. And of course, Persona 3 Reload just got a performance patch. I think it was today or last night. 60 FPS docked mode. And the frame pacing has, from what I've heard, been fixed in handheld mode. So handheld's not 60, docked is 60, but the frame pacing has been ironed out in handheld. So all good news. It's almost as if developers are learning how to develop games on Switch too, learning how to take advantage of it. So things will improve over time. That's what happens with new consoles. We've all been around this block several times, several decades of this. We know what to expect. All right, you guys got anything else you want to add for this one?
I mean, what more is there to say? If there's any games you wanted to pick up on Switch 1 that you didn't get around to, play them on your Switch 2, because why not?
Yeah, there's so many.
I legit have been buying Switch 1 versions of the modern or the little HD 2D Dragon Quest games. I like the physical for those.
Yeah.
And they've got the upgrade path, and I don't know. So I'm buying new Switch 1 games just to play on my Switch 2.
But you didn't buy Dragon Quest 1+2 on Switch 1, did you?
I did.
Did you know there's no upgrade path for that?
Yes, there's no upgrade,
but
I
want to
wanted
make sure.
to go for it. Yes, no, I'm aware.
Okay.
3 has the upgrade path, yeah.
Yep.
Or 3 was the upgrade free? It was free,
Yeah,
wasn't
free.
it?
Free
Yeah.
for 3. Yeah, which is very nice. All right. Well, yeah, that's the thing. There's so many, and I feel like as each day goes by, something else is getting announced for Switch 2 edition. And I think they're going to just keep hitting us strategically. Like, I think we're going to have more announced before the end of the year, after Christmas. Because why? That's when everyone gets their console. That's when they're tuning in. They're logging in. They're going into the eShop. Publishers are like, yeah, dude, let's get it. Let's release it on the 26th on Boxing Day. Or on the 27th, like when kids are out of school, kids are getting gift cards. Use that gift card to go buy games on the eShop, to go get eShop gift cards.
Mhm.
Perfect time to get your game front and center Switch 2 edition. So I think we're going to get more. All right, third topic. This is what we'd personally tell everyone that is new to the Switch 2 family, what you should do first. Could be what game to play first, what to buy first. Is there an accessory you need? Is there something you should do to fully enrich the experience? Now, I'll kick this one off.
Mhm.
It's because I got a big one that is, I think it's really important. And that is, look, the HDR really, really needs to be dialed in. If you use HDR the way it comes out of the box, you're probably not going to be happy with the picture quality. It's going to look washed out. And you're probably going to have to tinker with it multiple times. Another thing that you have to take into consideration with HDR is when you go into the Switch menu to adjust your HDR, the actual menu does not run in HDR. And it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter what TV you have. The menu itself doesn't run. So if you adjust it in the menu, you can't like look at the menu to see how it changed, to see if your adjustments look good. So you have to adjust the HDR and then go into your menu or get out of that menu and go back into the game, see how it looks. If you're not happy, then you got to go back in, wash, rinse, repeat over and over and over again, most likely. Now, there's a second part to the HDR thing. So you have your standard HDR where you adjust the brightness and it says, you know, go up or down for the sun icon to show. Once you select that and you go to the next page, there's going to be a big image of like Super Mario Wonder. And then you can change the image to like Zelda, I think, and something else. And there's a slider that goes left and right. And that also changes your HDR. So there's two settings on your HDR. It's the sun, which is on everything. Like it's on your PlayStation, it's on your Xbox. But then there's the actual picture slider. And it will dim or brighten the image to whatever you want, whatever you think's good. The point is that you have to adjust that too. And so it makes it a little tricky because it's not one thing that you're adjusting until you get that perfect picture quality. It's two things you have to adjust. And you don't know if going up or down on this one or going left or right on the slider, how much that's going to change your picture until you get back into it. Now, there is a YouTube channel. I watched this guy, I think several months ago, and I know he just came out with a more recent video. I think his channel name is like HD TV Test or something like that. Have you guys heard of him before? Yeah, he's really good. He gives very clear instructions. He talks about like different TV, manufacturers and how it varies by which TV it is and if it has HDR tone mapping or not. And if it does, he'll tell you to turn it off, then do your settings, then turn it back on or something to that effect. So my advice would be to watch HDTV's test, and I'll get the link. I'll try to share it. I don't know if I can, but I'll try to get that link and I'll put it in the chat. I don't know if it'll get ixnayed because it's a link, but just remember it's HDTV Test. That is the YouTube channel. We're going to say, Eric?
I think you're good.
Okay. So I'll share that link, save that. And look, hey, for everyone who owns a Switch 2 right now, bear in mind that the Switch 2 received an update recently in the last 2 weeks. And the docs HDR was part of the update. Okay. This is why he came out with a new video. His first video came out 6 months ago. He got 531,000 views on it, which is insane. But that's how many people were having issues with HDR. So his most recent video came out 11 days ago. And again, I'll drop that link right now in the comments. There it is. Save that for everyone who has a Switch 2. If you don't think your picture quality looks as good as you think it should, I would watch that video and get that baby dialed in because it shouldn't look washed out. I was showing Michaela Metroid Prime 4 when I was in the desert. And I was like, babe, watch this. I said, and she doesn't know about HDR really. She doesn't, she's not a tech nerd like we are. But I was like, watch this. I'm gonna go in here. Tell me which screen looks better. So I had the HDR on. I did a snapshot. So I took a picture, like on the actual Switch 2. And then I turned the HDR off and I took a picture. Then I went into my data, pulled up the photos, and scrolled through each of them. I'm like, all right, which one looks better? And of course, she picked the one that has no HDR. And then I explained to her, and herein lies the problem, babe. It should look best in HDR, but it doesn't. I said HDR should make the picture look way better. I said, you remember when we went to the Switch 2 experience, that's what was making the colors pop off the screen, was the wide color gamut HDR that I was talking to you about. So the fact that it looks better without the HDR, well, that tells me I need to watch this video and adjust my HDR again, because I had it pretty well dialed in, and now I don't. That's my advice to you. And I think everyone in chat should do this if you haven't already. Bird, what's the word? What is your advice?
Oh man, things to do first. I think about. Let me see. Let me look at the topic notes. Well, I don't know how to pick a first one because I think there's. Well, I would say must-haves are obviously. If you don't just play casual, if it's not just for a device for kids, I think the brand new Switch 2 Pro controller is a must. It's an amazing controller.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just need it. I will not play with Joy-Cons unless I'm in handheld mode. The Pro controller, too, is amazing. Improved HD rumble. The plastic they use is just a really nice feeling controller. It feels a lot more premium than the Switch 1 Pro controller, which was fine. But I think the Switch 2 Pro controller kind of shortens the gap between the premium feel of the Pro controller and the DualSense. You know, the DualSense felt just leagues ahead of the Pro one, but the Pro 2 bridges that gap quite a bit. So that's a must. Screen protector, you got to have day one. Protect your device. I recommend, I actually don't have one, but this is a huge recommendation because it's something that I need to remedy soon because I get really annoyed, but that's the battery packs. There's a number of companies that make great battery packs. I know both Stash and I think Nintendo Prime has covered some as well, but I know for sure Stash, you've covered multiple.
Well, I made my
great
own
Switch accessories.
Yeah.
Do you have it visible to show off right now while I talk about it? No? If not, no worries.
No, but if we can backtrack for a second.
Yeah.
I'll just show this real quick. So JSOX, I work with them. I think you guys know that. I do like a lot of accessory reviews for them. And this was really interesting. He's like, Steve, I got this. We have this screen protector we're testing. Okay. And he had sent me one like right when the Switch 2 launched. Okay. I put it on my Switch 2 and I put it on Michaela's. He sent one for her too. She still has that one. He sent me one that he said they were like literally working on in the lab and that it wouldn't be ready for sale yet on their website. But we want you to test it out. Let us know what you think. And then, you know, obviously we'll go from there. And he sent me out this like demo thing to show. And so.
Oh, yeah. It's a little reflective, but I could kind of see it.
Yeah, it is. And it's kind of like meant to be, but these are 4 different kinds of like screen protectors. Okay. He said the one they're working on is the same one that Apple uses on their MacBook Pro.
Oh, wow.
Like the same film that they put on it. So when he said that, I like really perked up, right? Like, oh, and yeah, I was like reading the email. I was telling Michaela because she was nearby. I'm like, hey, it's like this screen protector he's going to send me is the ones they use on the, you know, the MacBook Pros. I'm like, those look really good. Like those screens look very nice. And I was like, okay, that's definitely a reason to take the one off that I already have, because I'm of the belief that once you take off a screen protector, it's toast. It's never going to go back on the same. Like I'm not going to do that. Yeah. So I'm thinking like, okay, well, if I'm going to take it off, the one I'm putting on has to be better. So when he said that, I'm like, okay, this should be better. This should be really good. I'll tell you this. Here's my Switch 2. And I don't know how much you guys can probably see, but let me at least adjust my focus here. So you guys can maybe see this a little bit better. Oh, wrong direction. This screen protector is honestly like insane. I can't tell you, like, it's one of those things you have to like see in person, I think, similar to the gaming on a projector. Once you see in person how good the picture looks, like, oh shoot, like that looks really good. This screen protector, I could actually easily recommend to anyone. And like, I can't recommend stuff that I wouldn't buy.
Awesome.
Right. I'm sure you can't, none of us can, but dude, this is, I'm telling you, you guys should all get it. If you don't, GameBird, did you say you don't have one or you do?
I have a screen protector, but I have a cheapo one that I got on Amazon because there was no way I was going to open up and start using my Switch 2 without a screen protector. You know what I mean?
This arrived like 2 weeks after PAX. He was trying to get it to me before PAX because I told him, I said, if you get it to me before PAX, I can show the guys. And, you know, obviously anyone we meet at PAX, but again, they're literally working on it up to the minute. So yeah, I'll have to send you guys some info on it.
Oh, yeah. All right. A couple other things. So we went over Pro Controller is a must. You know, I recommend at least 1, 2. If you do a lot of local multiplayer, I just highly recommend it. Screen protector, it's a no-brainer. Protect your console, guys. Take care of it. It's a beautiful screen on the Switch 2. You want to keep it nice. Then we got, you know, memory. These are all basic things, but they're things that, you know, sometimes in the excitement we forget to do. But who else is sick of trying to make a sacrifice every time you want to get a new game, especially if you buy digital? If you're a digital player, you know you'll fill up that Switch 2 memory fast. So definitely get a mini SD Express that's big enough in size. I would recommend at the very minimum to add a 256 to your console, but I definitely recommend going higher if you can afford it or find it for that matter, because they do fly off the shelves lately. And then I think I've got to add a luxury item. This was one I was planning on mentioning. This is not something that I don't think I technically recommend this, but let's just say you want the most out of your Switch 2 and you want to have the most premium hybrid experience ever. Stash actually kind of mentioned it a second ago, but the big premium thing that if you've knocked out all the basics, you've got all the essentials that you want and love, and you've got some great games to play. If you're a traveler, if you take your Switch with you places, let's say you travel for work, you stay at hotels or whatever, you go to parties, your friends have parties, and you bring your Switch to parties. They make amazing portable projectors now. Stash has covered a few of them on his channel. I've yet to pick one up. I did ask Stash for a reco before in the past. I've yet to pick one up, but they make wonderful portable projectors that you could just grab and go and set up a big screen experience on the run wherever you're at, whether it's a party, a hotel, wherever. We thought about doing this at PAX. We didn't end up doing it as a podcast, but it's definitely something that we talked about. And I think if you're really looking to level up your Switch 2 experience as a hybrid system, I mean, it doesn't get any more peak than that. Imagine showing up to a friend's house, like, hey, you bring your Switch? You're like, yeah, I brought this too. And poof, and you've got like a huge ass projector and stuff. Dude, play outside at night, do the bonfire, make a party out of it, get some cold ones, and have a Mario Kart battle royale. I don't know, but I think just a cool way to really enhance the experience.
Yep. What else we got? We got the Pro Controller. We got the micro SD Express, and remember,
Yep.
it has to be the Express card.
Yep.
Express. 100%.
That's the only one that works. Make sure you get the right one. There's a lot of people. There's people who work in the game industry that have gotten the wrong one. Kind of funny games.
No way. Did they really?
What's his name? Did forget?
Oh no,
I forget his name. But yeah, he
was it Snowbike Mike? It sounds like something he'd do.
No, it does though.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
I love Snowbike Mike so much mostly because he used to have hair like Kramer for a while, and he has like the most unusual takes. He gets like really excited for games that I'm like not excited for, but he reminds me of a Kramer. I don't know, his personality is just so interesting that I just really like the guy. Like I could totally chill with that guy and have a beer.
It was Andy Cortez.
Andy. That's funny.
Yeah, and he found out like live. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, I got one. I got one for like, it's like I got like a 1 terabyte for like $70. They're like, what? Like how? He's like, I don't know. I was able to get it. It wasn't hard. And they're like, wait a minute. Which one did you get? Tell us what card you got. And they're like, you got the wrong one.
Brutal.
It was a very funny segment because I was like, when he said 70, I'm thinking, dude, got the wrong one. Oh my God. But yeah, so make sure you get the right one. Yeah, the Pro controller, the HDR settings. I don't know if there's really any other settings that. Oh, you know what? Actually, there is one more setting. Okay. This actually has to do with HDR.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go into your display screen, there's an option on HDR output. You have off for all software or for compatible software only. Toggle it to compatible software only.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep it for all software, it will force HDR on games that are not coded, they're not patched for HDR, and your picture will look very off. And, this is something I did right when I got my Switch 2. I have heard that from a lot of people because I've seen people post this on Twitter, and I'll look at the comments, and comments are like, oh my God, I've had this on the whole time. Like now my picture is good. Now my picture looks way better. So hopefully everyone, if you haven't done that, do it. That should actually give you a nice boost if you do have that currently on. Bird?
I've got another one that I forgot about. This is a setting I switched on day one, and I recommend anyone getting a new Switch doing it. This is just for preservation. There's a setting that you could turn on to only charge your battery up to 90%, not to 100%. It'll charge it to 90. I know it sounds like a silly setting, but the whole purpose of it is to extend the life of your console's battery. I don't know the particular name of the setting, but it's a 10% difference. It's negligible, especially if you end up getting a battery pack to use with your Switch. But, I'm the type of person I never get rid of. I don't trade in my consoles. I have all my consoles from my childhood, every handheld, every home console, saved them all. I still play on all of them. I only have one console that's ever shit out on me, ever. And it was a disaster. It's my least favorite Sony console of all time.
Oh,
and that's
PS3?
PlayStation 3. Yep.
Yeah.
I had
PS3,
many
360
issues with
era.
it. Yep.
Issues.
Brutal. I had multiple errors with my PS3. But eventually it literally just like died. So I have my dead one, and then I have another one that still works. But yeah, preserve your Switch 2s, guys. Put on that battery setting. It's a 10%.
Yeah.
It's negligible.
Stop charging around 80 to 90%. That's the name. It's under the system settings.
Yep, and mine stops charging at 87. I'm not sure if that's just like universal. Yep.
Those are good ones. Again, like Bird, you mentioned that. Yeah, I've done a handful of videos on how to get more battery life, of course, out of your Switch 2. And one of them I did was like putting a magnetic ring on the back of my Switch 2. You can also get cases that have magnetic rings, so you don't put it on your actual Switch 2 if you don't want to. And then you get a power bank. You get a short USB-C cable that can do fast charging. And you put the magnetic ring onto, obviously, your power bank. You connect it. Boom, you're done. You get several more hours out of it. I did a review on a 10,000 milliamp one that only added a very small amount of weight. I tried to find one that didn't weigh a lot, because just because it doesn't bother me doesn't mean it's not going to bother other people, right, that play. So I wanted to get one that was lightweight, and I think that one did a really good job. So if you're interested, you can check my channel for it. If you don't want to connect it and you just want to get a power bank, or you're considering it, I'll just say that, like, I went to LA. Actually, I wasn't even supposed to say that, but I went out of town for work. And when I was at the airport, our flight got delayed going there like 4 times. Of course, I don't care, because like I'm sitting there playing Metroid Prime.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't care, because I'm a day early anyways for what I need to be there for. But I also don't care because I have a 25,000 milliamp, or actually I have 27,000 milliamp power bank. I can play all day and all night into the next day with one of those.
Damn.
So again, if like battery life, if you're really going to play that much handheld and you're not going to be near electricity, okay, remember that. You're probably going to be near electricity, but if you're not, if you're going to be out in the mountains, if you're going to be in a forest, if you're going to go sit in your tree house that has no electricity and play, then bring a power bank with you and you can do it all day and all night. You won't need a generator.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's such a concern with that battery life, right? How do we fix it?
I'm totally picturing an episode of like Doomsday Preppers, and it's Stash, and he's showing it. What do they call it? Like, it's called like a bug out bag or something like that. They call it. And Stash is opening up his bug out bag, and it's like his Switch with all the accessories and like different battery packs. He's like, I could get. He's like,
Well, I have one.
Could get
Obviously,
72 hours
Michaela
of
has
gaming
one too.
on this puppy.
Yeah.
It's your switch out bag.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
We got anything else we want to add, guys?
For me, get yourself a really good carrying case as well. Just because, I mean, I got one. It's the GameStop, just cheapo one. I was looking at other ones just because it doesn't have room for any sort of accessories really. So I can't put my charging cable in it or anything like that. So, I was looking at some different ones. And a one setting that I turned on, I don't know why, it's just because it's me. But if you're around a bunch of other people and you want to lock them out of your system, there is the passcode option to turn on.
Yeah.
One other thing that I did get, and normally I'm not into, but I got some thumb grips from D-Brand. Freaking, these things are the best thumb grips, because Nate got some, and I ended up buying some because he just had me try them, and these things are the best thumb grips I have ever tried in my life. I normally don't like thumb grips because they don't really do what they say. They don't really grip your thumbs. These ones actually feel really nice, and it feels like you get a nice solid traction on the joysticks. So yeah, that'd be something that I'd recommend if you do like thumb grips.
Yeah.
I don't use thumb grips, but I would try it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I know Nate mentioned like he had never used thumb grips or He wasn't
Right.
really interested in it, and
Yeah.
it seems like there's other people in this world that are like us that are like, what do I need this for? But
Right.
then they try it and they're like, okay, I see why this is good to have. I like these.
Mhm.
And then they tell everyone about it, like
It-
you are.
It bulks them up just a little bit, not a ton, but it gives you a little bit more surface area, and it actually, prevents your thumbs from sliding off the sticks. So that's for me, that would be a day one purchase for sure.
That's a good one. I like that. I think these are all really good recommendations because they're all things you need. The carrying case, obviously, you got to
Mhm.
protect your investment. Yeah. One other thing I'd say, I've said this before though, if you guys are going to buy digital games, if you know that's your game plan, Costco, if you have a membership,
Mm.
go
Mhm.
buy your eShop codes from Costco. I buy them online. They send it to my email. I get it within 5 or 10 minutes. And it's always 10% off. So I can get $100 gift card for 90. But then probably a month or two ago, they were doing 20% off.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, I know this is going to be spent over the course of the Switch 2. And obviously I do have to buy a little bit more because I'm reviewing games too. And I don't get them all sent to me. So obviously I buy some as well. And so I know the money's going to get spent. And I do play a lot of indie games that aren't going to ever get a physical release, or it's going to be way later. And I need to review it now kind of thing. So to me, that's something you got to do, because when you do that, you're getting at least 10% off on all of your digital games. And if you buy it at 20% off, then you're getting 20. And like, I'll drop a couple hundred. The max you can do, I think, is 500. I know that's a lot, but also this is for my job. And so I spend 500, or I spend 400 to get $500 because it's 20% off. So that is a tip that I think everyone should take advantage of. If you don't have a Costco membership and you know someone who does, yeah, you might want to bother them for it. Might be a good idea still. Save some money. And they'll get points. Hey, there's your selling point. They'll get points on their Costco account, which means they'll get more money back at the end of their membership. So you're helping them. Help me, help you. Win-win situation.
There you go.
All right. You guys ready for this last topic then?
Yep.
Yes. One quick shout out though. If you guys are worried about stick drift, the Switch 2, ladies and gentlemen, please grab yourself some stick fix.
Yeah, I agree.
It's essential at this point.
Yeah, I've worked with them before, and it fixed the issues I was having. I didn't want to admit it. I didn't want to talk about it, but it took a lot out of me. But it got fixed, and they were cool about it, and they didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, their packaging is very discreet.
Yeah, it is.
Too.
So, yeah. But you guys all know now that I went through with them. So,
yeah. Eric, you're
Guess
on.
it doesn't matter.
You're on the stick fix, right?
Oh yeah. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Zora Puck in chat said, "Oh no, are people having a stick drift issues already?" No, we're just joking. It's a joke.
I actually am yet to hear one story of stick drift on Switch 2. I haven't heard it. I did hear that kind of fake story that went around like the first week of Switch 2 that people were already having stick drift. Obviously, it was a fake story. There's been zero on it since. Have you guys heard anything about that? I've heard nothing on that front.
It might be that we're still not quite far enough in yet that it hasn't started.
Maybe not, but I feel like we heard about it pretty
Agreed.
quickly
Oh.
on the Switch 1, and I'm not saying it's not going to happen. It happened quicker on my Switch Joy-Cons than it did my PS5 DualSense controller. But
God.
I think with how many Switch 2s have already sold, roughly 15 million already, the fact that we've yet to hear a story, especially knowing that they didn't do Hall Effect sticks this time around, it at least tells me that they at least thought about it enough to address it and make it better. Somehow, was that?
What I was say? What did I say at the Switch 2 experience?
Yeah.
When everyone asked me, and they're
Yeah.
like, "No, you're wrong. It's not Hall Effect." I'm like, "But it's different. Okay,
Yeah.
it's different. I can tell it's going to be fixed, and we're good so far." PS5,
Good so far.
look, man. Earlier this year, Michaela and I, before we got super busy, we were working on Split Fiction. So playing 2 players, and we're both experiencing major stick drift. One controller way more than the other. I gotta tell you, that is the worst. That's one of the worst games ever to have stick drift in.
I believe that.
Yeah, because you're like trying to work together, right? And when you're trying to go somewhere and you're going the other way, like I swear my controller, I'm pointing it this way, but it's going that way. It's the worst. It's chaos, dude. Absolute chaos. I wouldn't wish stick drift on my worst enemy. Legit.
Right.
All right. The final topic then. I was just thinking about this, but we hadn't done this yet. We're 6 months in.
That's
Halfway.
insane.
Yeah. We're due for a doctor appointment. We're due for the dentist appointment.
Mhm.
This is 6 months, man. We got to check in. How are we feeling? Is your body still ready?
Mhm.
Is it more ready than it was before now that you've played around with it? Like, how are we feeling? I know we talk about 2026 and how we feel going into it, right? But how are we feeling about these 6 months so far?
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling really good right now. Listen, I think it's been a great 6 months. Ignoring a lot of like the negative discourse online, just viewing things as a gamer who got a new console this year and new games this year. I think they've had a very, very strong first 6 months. And I think the first 5 months of the console, like the first 4 to 5 months of Switch 2 was better than the first 4 to 5 months of Switch 1, and definitely better than the first 6 months of Wii U. And in some cases, maybe even better than the first 4 or 5 months of the Wii. And the reason why I say that, a lot of people will say, "Oh no, the Switch 1 blew it out of the water." But I have to look at it from the mindset of the biggest within the first 4 to 5 months. The biggest Switch 1 game was a Wii U port. It was, regardless of the fact that only 13 million people had Wii U's, it was a Wii U game. Even if you ignore the Switch 2 editions, we got a brand new, huge Game of the Year nominated 3D Donkey Kong within the first, 2.5 months of the console. We launched with a brand new Mario Kart, not a port like Switch had, a brand new one, new vision. We've got a brand new Kirby Air Riders, first time since the GameCube. We had the strongest out of the gate. Like, have we ever seen this strong of third-party support out of the gate with the guarantee of day and date releases, like Resident Evil coming out in February next year? I'm trying to think the last time we had this strong. Like, guys, we're going to be getting everything possible.
Well, Wii U had a strong launch lineup, but we're talking like you get out of the gate and then you run. So crossing the gate is the launch, and then you got the running path. So big picture, launch in the running path, I don't think any of the consoles we've played, any of the Nintendo consoles, have had a better lineup.
There's
When you
one,
look at the big launch window.
yeah, I agree. I literally think it's the strong. I'd even mention Hyrule Warriors, another great exclusive for Switch 2. We've been filled with oh my gosh, great third-party announcements. But what I was going to say, the one thing, there's been two blunders in the first 6 months of Switch 2. The first blunder was messaging. I don't think right out the gate
Yeah,
Nintendo
totally.
did a good job. And I made this clear.
Yeah.
Like when we got that reveal, I said it. I was like, I don't think I think they dropped the ball on messaging. I think it was a little bit weird. I think they should have been transparent about pricing in that direct. Should have been a post. Nintendo allowed a lot of confusion to run rampant, and they also, by not just being upfront about things from the get-go, allowed a lot of misinformation to just spread like wildfire, unfortunately. And it spread so much, it was hard to even combat it. I mean, you even had media out. It wasn't just like randos. It was media outlets talking about 90 and Donkey Kong being a $90 or $100 or whatever, like tons of rando misinformations.
Let me ask you this now that we're 6 months wiser. We've seen all the discourse. We see like the continued. We've seen the anti-Nintendo channels pop up, which like that's a real thing. There are channels that exist just to be the negative on Nintendo, and that's how they try to make their money. But as far as like the narrative being lost, which again, we talked about this leading up to it, how important that was, or at least, you'd think it is. So my question would be, did Nintendo even try to combat it? Or did they want to allow it to run wild? Because it's in the algorithm.
I don't think they tried, because there was no, like, they didn't really make any, they kind of just let stuff just fester. And then they just like make announcements here and there on their own time. Like
Fester's Quest
on
the NES.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think whether it was on purpose or not, I personally think, and obviously they couldn't have foreseen a lot of the other hurdles that were going to come, the recent news about RAM spike in price that's going to be coming, the tariff, like there's a lot of timing things that you just can't foresee as a company. That being said, I do think they dropped the ball on just messaging and transparency right out of the gate. I think they could have positioned themselves to have a much more positive reception by just being a little bit more forthcoming.
Well, like the direct, you remember when we're all like waiting? So what's the price? They didn't say price. And then we had like search for it.
Yeah.
And we had to wait for it because it didn't immediately appear on the internet.
Yep.
And then
it
was interesting.
Messaging around the game key cards was terrible and confusing. It felt like it was like a month or two before people even fully understood what a game key card was. Like just weeks worth of YouTubers making videos explaining what key cards are. And
the problem was
confusion.
There was channels who led their flock astray.
Sure.
Some channels, I think, lied to their flock on purpose, only to make a follow-up video to then get more views and get more revenue. Like there's a lot of channels that do that. They don't want to give you the right answer right away, because if I can give you the wrong answer and you'll watch, and then I can give you the right answer and you'll watch, why don't I just do that and make double?
Yeah.
I don't do that. You guys don't do that, but that's how a lot of them think. Then this is how a lot of them operate.
Yeah.
They waste your guys' time. I don't want to
you
waste people's time.
run with it till told otherwise, basically.
Yeah.
But I mean, even confusion around like releases, like, is this going to get a physical release? Like, there was just a lot of confusion. So I give Nintendo a bad grade. I really feel like that first month of Switch 2, as far as like just like transparency and messaging and like the PR side of it, I think I give them like a D. You know, I give them a D or a D minus. Not good. Switch 2 though, I'm freaking loving it. I love the device. I love the Pro controller. I love all the games so far. Hardware, software side, if I could give one nitpicky complaint, it's that we didn't have a big blockbuster holiday title this year. For a lot of people, a lot of hardcore Prime fans like myself, Prime 4 is that holiday title that you've been waiting for. We've been waiting 8 years for the game. The really sad truth is that in the grand scheme of things, there's not many of us. We are a very, very proud and happy minority who adore this series. I don't think Kirby Air Riders, as awesome of a game as it is, I don't think that that's the big blockbuster to be like, I have to go grab one immediately. Mario Kart is obviously way bigger than Kirby Air Riders, and it's within the same genre. So I think there was a missed opportunity there. And hey, listen, it's not as simple as that. There's development cycles. Teams aren't going to Nintendo's not going to put something out on the holiday that's not ready. And obviously, if there was something ready, it would have been there. If the big 3D Mario game was ready, or the next big Zelda was ready, or the next big Smash Brothers was ready, it would have been there. So I understand that. It's not a knock against Nintendo. I think that's just one thing that would have made this first 6 months, it would have elevated it and made it more exciting. But overall, I'm really happy, really happy. And I think it's the most fun I've had, the most enjoyment I've had. And just knowing that we're getting really cool third-party exclusives, games that like I know I'm going to want to play on my Switch. I'm a hardcore RPG fan.
Yeah.
I, without a shadow of a doubt, believe that the hybrid format is the best way to play JRPGs. They're long games. They sometimes have busy work if you're the type of player who likes to train. You know, you want to spend a few hours. A hard game like Dragon Quest, that's a little bit more challenging. You know,
It's nice though to grind.
Yeah, you want to grind. You want to put on the Nintenbyte podcast and grind out some levels on your couch or in your office or in bed. So, like, just knowing that we're just knowing that we're going to be getting so many kick-ass RPGs, and I know Elden Ring's coming, and I know Metaphor eventually is going to make its way. And not only are we did we get Persona 3 Reload, and we have Persona 5 already on the system, but we're going to be getting my favorite Persona 4 remake, or Reload, Rewind, I forget what they call it. Correct me in chat. But the Persona 4 remake we're getting on Switch 2. And guys, it's a guarantee we're going to be getting Persona 6. Like, that's just stupidity if it doesn't come to the platform, as well as all the other great ones that are yet to come. So,
well,
I don't know. I'm really happy.
Final Fantasy 7 is right around the corner.
Yep.
And then I think, what is it, two weeks later, roughly 2 weeks later, Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined. So we're getting two massive JRPGs from Square Enix to start the year and within 2 weeks of each other. And look, I beat Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. I've mentioned it several times. I think between the two games, safely I've spent over 400 hours between the two on PS5. Now, I haven't beat Final Fantasy VII Remake since it came out, but I will be playing that to the end. Like, beginning to end, I'll be beating that game again because it's so special.
It's so good. And a lot of people missed out on Integrate, which is a phenomenal little DLC piece that kind of bridges the gap. It's phenomenal.
It's important.
I love it's short. It's short but sweet.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, but Switch, man, you're right. It's a RPG dream machine. Metroidvanias too. great to play
Indies.
on here.
Guys,
Indies.
indies.
Yeah, there's a lot, just a lot to love here. So, all right, Eric, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, for what little I've played, I freaking love it. It's a lot smoother, a lot more creamy, as GameBird likes to say. You know, when you start playing games, it's everything I could have hoped for. You know, going from Switch 1 to Switch 2, it's fantastic. I know one of my coworkers has was kind of debating on whether or not to get one, and I'm like, well, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. This game, that game, whatnot, so on and so forth. It's more powerful, obviously, than the Switch 1. It runs Switch 1 games for the most part better than Switch 1 itself. So, I mean, there's definitely a whole lot of pluses to, getting the Switch 2. I know it's on sale, or it was on sale a couple times here. So if you can find it on sale, definitely I would recommend picking it up. I mean, even not on sale, I still think it's worth every penny. Just because of the variety of games and stuff like that you can play. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth it.
And I want to jump in really quick and say something. I just want to emphasize something because I think it's really important. I think that a lot of people, I don't know, people are, how do I say, how do I phrase this? People are very insatiable and people don't like to wait, and people want everything everywhere all at once. Especially more so today than ever before. Guys, we're 6 months in. We've barely scratched 6 months. Think about year one for most consoles. It's oftentimes a barren wasteland. Happens all the time.
Or you can't find it.
Or you can't find it.
Yeah, so Switch 2 is
so celebrate that you can find it. But the fact of the matter is we have so many great games already. Yeah, maybe, again, like I said, maybe it's not the next 3D Mario or Zelda, but that stuff's coming. That stuff's coming. We've barely scratched the story. The Switch 2's story has just begun. So,
yeah, no, I didn't. With the whole games thing, I've seen it on the internet. Some people are thinking it's done on purpose, just because they know that they didn't have to have necessarily a big game to sell the Switch 2. The better performing, that type of stuff would sell it to the hardcore Switch fans right away, no matter what. So they didn't necessarily have to have a big game right off the bat. I mean, Mario Kart, you could argue is a big game, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's they didn't have to have that right off the bat, but now in year two, they're gonna have, or coming into back half of year one into year two, I think they're gonna start pumping out their big games and starting, really loading the chamber on that one.
Yeah, we haven't gotten next year's big announcements yet, and we already know of a brand new Fire Emblem that looks incredible. We're probably going to get Splatoon Raiders next year as well.
Yeah.
We're going to get
how the game's going to be about.
We're going to be getting a Yoshi game, Call of Duty.
That was in the news last, I think today and yesterday. Was it Jez Gordon said to expect Call of Duty on Switch 2 in the next few months.
And it's possible that some sort of Zelda experience drops next year. I don't know if that means a port. I don't know if that means another remake. I don't know what it means, but it's possible that another playable Zelda game we'll have next year, among other things.
Yeah, it's the 40th. And obviously we got the Mario movie next year too.
Oh my God.
So you would want to capitalize on that. We know we're getting Mario Wonder Switch 2 edition with the, what is it, Bella Park something?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Expansion. It's a very long name.
I wasn't part of the show when the first Mario movie came out. Did you guys do a like Mario movie review episode or anything
I
like
wasn't
that?
on here either.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure we're back to Nintendo Prime at that point. I
Okay.
can't remember. My memory's terrible. But I think we went into depth on, Mario movie rumors, what it could be, what it could,
I was gonna say we should do
voice actor
we
stuff
should do
like that.
it'll be fun to do kind of like a movie review podcast.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'll be there. We'll be there opening night for sure.
Hell yeah.
You can count on that. All right. I'll give you guys my 6 month check-in. So I've been a day one adopter. We didn't get the Super Nintendo right when it came out, which would have been like September 1991. But we did get it for Christmas. It's pretty close. But since then, I've been old enough to like have a job and make sure I have money to be a day one adopter of everything that I would want to be. And so really that started with the 64. We all know how that started. Mario and Pilot Wings for a very long time before we got to hit the waves with that timeless game Wave Race 64 that I love so much. But it was very slow. We all know how that went down. Everything was very slow. GameCube. I'll tell you, the sentiment back then was people thought it was cool to like get Luigi's Mansion, but they wanted Mario. That was the opinion back then. And I think some people look back on it like, oh, such a banger, Luigi's Mansion at launch. That's not how it was looked at. That's not how it was reviewed. I think IGN gave it a 7 out of 10, and they were still highly respected. Not to say they're not today, but not as much.
I remember that sentiment of why.
Yeah.
Why who wants this? I remember that.
Like, why are we changing the formula? Why are we trying to reinvent the wheel? Or do we just is Mario not ready? Why don't we have it? Right? We got one Mario on 64. Rewind. And on the SNES, we got 2 Mario games. Obviously, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. Some call it a Yoshi game. Whatever. It's titled Super Mario World 2. Rewind again to the NES. We had 3 NES games in the US. In Japan, we had 4 because you had the Lost Levels.
Mm-hmm.
So 4, and then 2, 1 on 64. So it's kind of like, well, why don't we have one ready for launch? If Mario came out in September 96, why don't we have a Mario game ready in November 2001? That was the sentiment. So I look at that. I was there, I camped out at Best Buy. It's a great time. But it felt like we didn't have a killer app. It really did. I remember that. It was a strong feeling. Still obviously loved the GameCube when we got Smash Brothers shortly thereafter, which was nice. The Wii, obviously we got Twilight Princess. It was also a GameCube title, but whatever. Breath of the Wild was a Wii U game, and then also a Switch game. So who cares, right? Great game, amazing game, one of the best games of all time. Doesn't matter what platform you play it on. And then the Switch, right? So we had Wii U, we had New Super Mario Brothers U, which again, to me, it felt sterile. Felt like it's kind of a sterile experience, which is sad. Switch, we had Breath of the Wild, 1, 2, Switch. I mean, it was really just Breath of the Wild, if you think about it. I look at Switch 2, and to me, this is the most unique launch ever, by far. And I say that because, look, I've owned the Nintendo's launch day. I've owned the PlayStation's launch day. not the Xbox. Xbox only gets purchased when it's on sale. That's how third places treat it. But Nintendo and Sony have been doing, launch day for the most part. We didn't get PS1 on launch day. We rented it at Blockbuster on launch day. But I got PS2 and everything after that. I've never seen a console where your old games get performance boost without doing anything. And that's never happened. The PS1 to PS2, when you put a PS1 game in your PS2, there was a small resolution bump. That's it. Okay, you're not getting the things that you're getting today. There's huge Excel list, Google Sheets list on Reddit. I have list of games that are on Switch 1 that haven't been patched, that were running at 30 and now run at 60. They had dynamic resolution on Switch 1, so now it's running better on Switch 2. Load times have, I want to say increased. They've decreased dramatically on Switch 2. Like, these are things that have never happened before.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, dude, all the games that I have on Switch 1, physically, digitally, it's like looking at them in a new light. And we all have backlogs. We all do. And if you don't, you got to branch out. You got to play more than one game, because there's so many amazing games. And to go into the Switch 2 knowing that, wait a minute, I can put in any of my Switch 1 games, and it's like a slot machine. You might win. You might put it in, and hey, it's running at 60 now. Or this game was barely playable, or it was playable, but there was a lot of issues, and now it's running great. And they didn't even do anything. That, to me, is just, it makes the Switch 2 completely stand out versus anything we've ever played for any console. Even Xbox had, they had performance boost, but you had to patch that. We get that too. We get Switch 2 patches. We've been getting them nonstop. I just reviewed it with Turtles. There's Divinity Original Sin. There's Skyrim. There's so many Switch 2 editions that have gotten patched. But I'm talking like hundreds and hundreds of unpatched games are running better. So I look at that, and then I also look at, hey, we're getting, again, what was just reviewed as the 2 best Nintendo games of all time. We got them in the most definitive version ever. And I know it doesn't come with the DLC. I'm not saying the DLC part. What I mean is how these games play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you played Breath of the Wild on Switch 1 or Tears of the Kingdom on Switch 1, that's an even better one to use. Play that on Switch 1 and then you play it on Switch 2. It is a legit night and day difference. It is so much better. There's no comparison. So I look at that. It's like, okay, the best game for Switch 1 on launch day was Breath of the Wild. We get that on day 1 on Switch 2, and Tears of the Kingdom, and Link's Awakening, and Echoes of Wisdom, all performing better. We're getting Odyssey on day 1 performing better. We're getting all of these games that Nintendo did patches on that were for free. And then on top of that, the actual games that are coming out for Switch 2.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, like the amount of games we have to choose from, right?
Yeah. It's wild.
DK, first 3D one in 26 years. And then it turned out to be an absolute banger. It's been nice. And then just knowing what's on the horizon. I would say knowing and unknowing what's on the horizon, because what we know is really great, right? GameBird, you mentioned some of them. Obviously, Duskbloods as well. We need to see more on that.
Yeah.
But we don't know what Nintendo's doing. Like, we don't have the release schedule. but we know we're getting Final Fantasy and we're getting Dragon Quest. We're getting Resident Evil 7, 8, and 9 all on the same day, February 27th. There's a lot coming. Obviously, we're getting the next Trails. We're getting Ease Proud Nordics X early in the year. Was it Trails Into the Horizon? That's coming out in January. There's a lot. Like, I don't want to ever say too many. I don't want to jinx anything, but dude, there's a lot. There's a lot coming. There's a lot of indie stuff that no one knows about too. You might know about it, GameBird, because I know you watch for that, and I do.
Yep.
And like some of the games that I've reviewed on my channel recently, I reviewed for a strategic reason. Because I know, I can't say, but I know things, right? And so it makes sense to review them now instead of later when I might be busier with other games that are coming out. Get ahead of the curve. There's a lot of really, really good stuff coming. So I'm very happy. Yeah, I'm very happy, dude, with my 6 months. What's there to complain about? Like, legit. Do we
really
have do we have complaints?
No, what I think it is that people aren't looking. The Switch hasn't been out a year. The Switch 2 hasn't been out a year. And I think people are making unfair comparisons about what most console launch years look like. And they have this like preconceived notion that Switch 2's is bad for some reason. And again, I already made it clear why I think you could argue Switch 2's launch like window blows Switch 1's out of the water. You have to listen. You have to keep in mind that Breath of the Wild is it's a Wii U game. It's not a Switch 1 game. Yes, most people played it on Switch 1, but at the end of the day, it's a Wii U game. There was I believe one exclusive that launched with the Switch. So if you want to make this comparison, it's Snipper Clips. So if you're like Snipper Clips blows Mario Kart World out of the water, then yes, you could argue that in your opinion, Switch had a better launch. Maybe Bomberman R. I don't know if that was exclusive or multi-platform.
It was exclusive to start.
Okay, which was not a very well received Bomberman, if anyone remembers.
I think it bombed.
It bombed. It had like the pizza explosions that people hate, and critique. So that's where you can make your comparison. You know, Bomberman and Snipper Clips. Which Snipper Clips is an amazing game, by the way. Versus Mario Kart World and Cyberpunk, and I don't even know. I gotta look. I know more games than I know. We had bigger stuff. Let me see. Yeah, Mario Kart World, Cyberpunk, Civilization, Deltarune, Fast Fusion, Kumitsugami, Path of the Goddess, a game that wasn't on Switch 1, a better version of Hogwarts Legacy, Switch 2 Welcome Tour, Puyo Puyo Tetris, Rune Factory, Street Fighter 6, Split Fiction, Game of the Year type game, Yakuza 0 Direct. Dude, it not only that, listen, you want to argue that Switch 1 had a better launch because of Breath of the Wild, a game that was a port. Well, not only did you get a Switch 2 edition of Breath of the Wild, but you also got a Switch 2 edition of Tears of the Kingdom. So you got double the Zelda launching with Switch 2. It's just, and then, you know, you go beyond that. Within a couple months, we had Donkey Kong. We had to wait till the holiday for Mario, right? Was Mario that first holiday, or was that next year, the following year?
No, it was that first year, because Switch came out March 3rd, and then we got Mario in October.
Yep. So you had to wait a while. So yeah, maybe there hasn't been a release that's hit as hard as Breath of the Wild when it was new, or hit as hard as Odyssey when it was new, but we've had more big exclusives, way more in the short time. And that's rare for a new console. Usually a new console will have one hopefully great game for its launch year, and hopefully third party kind of fills in the blanks because everyone's still learning the hardware and getting used to it. I know my first year I love my PS5. I know my first year with PS5, I absolutely loved Demon Souls remake, And
So
then I
good.
was kind of feeling the pain for a little bit after that.
I played a lot of PS4 games on PS5,
Yep.
like all the ones that they patched. And so everyone was complaining at the time, like on social media, the people who choose to do that were like, oh, there's nothing to play. I'm like, well, this has been great for me. I'm playing these PS4 games that were in my backlog on PS5 and they're running considerably better now because they were actually patched. So it worked out very well for me, and it's working out doubly now on Switch too, because so many of these games, they don't need patches.
Yeah.
The developer doesn't have to do anything, which is great. So it's been nice. I'm trying to see if there's anything I could say is a negative, right? We knew with great power comes great responsibility, which means shorter battery life.
Sure.
But we knew that. We knew going into it, which is why I was already looking into an immediate fix for that. So that's not a big deal. I play docked mostly anyways. If I don't, I'm bringing the power bank. Fixed. So then what is the issue? There's no stick drift. There's more games than I have time to play. I
gotta ask you. I gotta ask you guys this one, because I feel like this is one where I feel like I'm not aligned. Whoa, what happened? There we go. Tripped me out.
Now you're aligned.
There we go. I feel like I'm not aligned with most people, because not only did I hear this a lot growing up through every generation, but I see it especially now online across the last two generations. The great power debate. Power, how powerful the console is, more powerful than this gen, and power is extremely low on GameBird's totem pole of video game priorities.
Yeah.
I don't care much about power. In fact, one of my worries pre-Switch 2 was that they'd push the console to be too powerful, and I didn't want that. I don't want Nintendo to push the boundaries. I don't want anyone to do that. I hate when companies do that. Why? Because the cost of everything skyrockets. I didn't want to spend $1,000 on a Switch 2 or $1,200 on a Switch 2. And the same people who don't buy Switch 2 because and bag on it for not being more powerful would shit all over the console for being $1,000 or $1,200 to play Mario and Zelda or whatever sort of digs they're going to take. Listen, I love video games. I love video games for their innovation, their fun gameplay, most importantly, for their immersive storylines, for their sweeping soundtracks. I can't think of any game that I've loved or had to play just because the graphics. I don't think I've ever bought one game like I have to buy, like, I don't know anything about the gameplay. I don't know anything about the story, but man, those graphics, I have to buy that. Maybe an art style, that's different though. An art style I've been drawn to, especially in the indie space where I've seen games. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful game I've ever seen in my life. I have to check this out because it's a visual spectacle. But realism, chasing realism, I don't know. I just like it's so low on the totem pole compared to all the other things that I just listed.
It has been too for a long time.
Yes, it's just such a
for you or me or probably Eric. Like this hasn't been a deal for probably what? I don't know. The PS. Which era would you say? Is it the GameCube era? Is it Wii?
Sure.
It's around there where it's like
around there.
You know, I care about the art style. Okami, that's another great one.
Yeah, Okami will look.
Style.
It's timeless. You release that same game today, it competes with everything on the market. Wind Waker competes with everything on the market. The art style is timeless. So that one's always been weird to me, and I don't even know how to navigate this sorts of conversations because, like, you know, someone bring PlayStation into the argument, let's say, and they're like, "Oh, PS5's way more powerful. What's the point?" I'm like, "Okay, well, I like I love my PS5, but you know what console I liked way more than PS5? PS4. I think PS4 had more great experiences.
Yeah.
If I had to eliminate one of the two systems from history, I'd eliminate the more powerful system with bigger development gaps and more closed down studios.
Yeah, PS4 had the bigger library
Yeah.
for sure. Not as many of these really long gaps that they've had from first parties. Yeah,
It's just a funny thing you see, because I remember
It is.
saying on my channel and getting like people being like, "What the hell?" When I would say way back before I met you guys, this was when I'd speculate about Switch Pro and Switch 2 for the very first time, saying, "I hope that it's not as powerful as PS5." That's what I would say in my videos. I just hope it's not as powerful as PS5. Let's keep it costly. Let's focus more on innovation and art style and great game design. And people be like, "What the hell? Like, why would you want something not as powerful?" But that's just me.
and I will say though too that I appreciate that Sony is there to do that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like I don't want them both doing the same thing, and like you can get your fix for that. There are games, as we know, that just look absolutely stunning, and that is really cool to know that. Like I think we can always count on Sony to push the envelope when it comes to
Yeah.
power and fidelity. It's not what I need. Do I appreciate it? Yeah, of course. Who doesn't? Everyone likes things that are nice to look at. That's how we
Absolutely.
are, right?
Yeah,
But not
great
everything
graphics
either.
aren't bad.
Yeah.
I would never make that. I would never make that argument. And there are times that I will buy the third party experience on PlayStation so I can have it at its most peak
Same.
performance. So I'm not saying that I don't like power. I'm saying like it's low on importance, and it's not what it's not what I was looking for on the Switch 2. And when I am considering how my thoughts on the system or where I rank the system, power is not part of the argument. Switch 2 for me only needed to be powerful enough to have day and date third party releases, or third party releases that aren't packaged with an apology like Switch 1 had.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
Vaseline
That's key.
visuals or 15 frames per second. That's all I needed. Give
Yeah.
me something just strong enough to do all the stuff that your competitors can do, and then push boundaries, not by visual fidelity, but push it through innovation and unique gameplay experiences that
through,
I can
like-
only experience on that platform.
Through whatever Bluebird team's trying to do.
Sure.
That can apparently only be done on Nintendo. Like,
Right,
I'm
right.
excited for that because, like, if you tell me you're gonna make some game that has like some sort of crazy graphics, it's like, okay, I can conceptualize in my mind how that may look. But when you say you're gonna do something that hasn't been done before, as far as like gameplay, I mean, you got me interested, right? Because I've been doing this, I've been playing games since the 80s. So to see something new that I've never seen before, that's exciting. There'll always be prettier things. That's going to happen as technology continues. Every year, tech gets better, things get prettier. It's to be expected. But not every year do we get new ways to play games, and that's what's interesting. So I genuinely enjoy them both, but at the same time, it's low on my totem pole as well. Always has been.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can go back and play, and I do go back and play A Link to the Past. To me, that art style is timeless. It's like 80s Disney animation when it was hand drawn. It's beautiful. It aged very well.
Yep.
So yeah, it's all about the game, man. Is it a good time or not?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. We got anything else we want to add, or we want to go to the
Let's go to the super chats.
Jump over to the Q&A. All right, let's jump over here.
Super chat. Super chat. She's
The original
super
Radical
chatty.
Games Girl with membership chat. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all out there.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Yeah.
Christmas, Jimzo. Appreciate it.
Jimzo again. Could Fire Emblem Fortune Leaves be Nintendo's January 2026 release, just like Pokemon Legends Arceus did? I think so, but y'all think otherwise?
I don't think so because we're about to enter January, and I don't think this is a game that they're going to shadow drop. We haven't seen like full gameplay for it, so I think this is one that we'll see in another direct and probably get a little bit later in the year.
Yeah. I mean, Nintendo's been pretty good, it seems, on kind of showing us things in order. Like not showing us stuff that's too far ahead and like trying to keep us on track. Yeah, they don't want to show us Metroid Prime 5 right now if it's not coming out till 2033. They've done a good job telling us what's coming and then giving us an update on it. So with that philosophy, yeah, maybe we would hear about Fire Emblem sooner than later. Maybe in that January. I'd say January, though, or the next direct. I don't see this going out to like late summer or early fall or anything like that. I think we hear about it in the first or second direct of the year.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm thinking January or February direct, and then releasing probably June.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I think a first half of 26 for sure.
All right. Well, we got a couple members here just to
hell yeah.
Steak with the gifted 10 members on ThunderStash channel.
Oh, I didn't see that. Thank you.
And then coming back and gifting 5 on GameBirds.
Cheers, brother.
Another new member. And then we had a Nintendo Ninja Prime Beyond. Bring with the member chat, bring back NBA Jam, NFL Blitz, NHL Hits. Merry Christmas to everyone. And then
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Amen to that.
Where is that other one? Oh, okay. Apparently. Oh, there it is. And then, of course, Demonic Brawler chimed in the same thing. As always. With the NFL hits.
It's a shame.
Yeah, right.
It's a shame. Come on, EA. What are you doing, dude? The NBA needs this. That they need this for their image, in my opinion. They really do. You want to get people excited about basketball again? NBA Jam, baby.
Right?
Yeah, it would help.
It would. It really would. I kind of want to see a baseball version of that one, where you can just like charge the pitcher and just.
Well, we had Slugfest.
Punch first baseman.
Yeah, I want that too. I would love that. The MLB, all of these commissioners are just like tissue soft, man. Charmin soft. They don't want to do anything that could risk sponsors or send the wrong message. That's why we don't have Blitz. I have the Blitz Arcade 1-Up, the full size 4-player in the other room. But they took out late hits in the game. Like they had to recode the game to take it out because they don't want that image. Yeah, I know. So it's just like I just don't know how we're gonna get back to like the things that were kosher in the 90s. Like some of these things, not everything, but come on, dude. That was fun, the late hits, but they don't want to promote that because that's not how the leagues ran today. Which is
dumb, considering that if you keep it in that cartoon style, nobody's gonna mistake it for being. I could understand if you had it like Madden style or MLB 2K, 26. Yeah, that style, and I would understand that people getting confused there. But if you keep it in the cartoon style, who the hell's gonna confuse that?
Hey, it's funny. Now that you mention this, I was looking at some games coming out in Mutant League Football. A new one's coming out. Yeah. And actually, I got an email on it about possibly reviewing it. I saw that I'm almost positive, like 90%, the ESRB rating is adults only.
Oh wow.
That's what got my attention. I'm like, what?
Wait, what?
That's wild. Like,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
we got it going on here.
yeah, it's got me interested just because of that. I just want to see, well, how'd you get this rating?
Right.
Yeah.
And jump to the next one. Prof Rock PR. No question, just sending vibes in super chat wishing for the best. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Wink to man. Merry Christmas to everyone and get well soon, Aiden. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Prairie Valley again. The original radicals Jimbo again. Google AI overview says that the Switch 2 port of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is good and commendable and doesn't get spoken about very much in all 30 FPS. Thoughts on that?
Well, I reviewed it
Hmm?
on my channel, and
Yeah, recently, right?
yeah, I detailed that it's 30 frames per second. I was very clear on it. I was also very clear that for 30 frames per second, this feels smoother than it should if you're just looking at the number on a piece of paper, like it's a statistic, right? And it reminds me of, for instance, playing Final Fantasy VII Remake at the behind closed door with Nintendo. You guys remember it felt smoother than 30 frames per second. Like it felt really good. What was it? Yuka Replay. It's 30 frames locked, but it feels better than I think it should. And so it's hard for me to explain that.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes it might be hard for people to understand because I can't really give context. It's like something you have to feel. It just feels better than it probably should. Take
To
it
me,
Star
when
Wars
it-
Outlaws, for example. It feels
Mhm.
better than 30. It doesn't feel like 40 though, but it feels better than a
Right.
30 frame per second game felt, I guess, last generation or in
Mhm.
previous generation. It's kind of it's a weird thing. And so it's hard to explain, but I totally agree with that. And that is what I said in my review.
I mean, to me, I think when you get down to like the 30 frames per second, you almost have to have it locked. You can't really have a variable at that point. Unless it kind of just goes up. But even then, I mean, once you hit that 30 area, and you don't want to go much lower, obviously, but you almost have to have it locked in order for it to feel smooth when you're down that low.
Yeah.
That's my thought. But
I agree.
because if you dip any lower than 30, I mean, even 1 or 2 frames at that point can feel ouch.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It can.
All right. On to the next one. Demonic Brawler. Merry Christmas, everybody, and prayers to Nate and his family.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Another new member here. And then I made a mistake earlier. Steak's second one was Merry Christmas. What would be your one game announced so far for next year on Switch 2 that you absolutely have to have regardless of first or third party AAA or indie?
Easy. Fortune's Weave, baby. Fire Emblem, Fortune's Weave. It's going to be amazing.
I'm kind of really still curious on Duskbloods. I didn't watch any of the Game Awards because did they have a new trailer there or was that just the old one?
They showed a little bit of like B-roll from the trailer we previously saw.
Okay. I'm still interested to see where that comes because that might be, a game to pick up once we learn a little bit more of it. And hopefully it comes out next year, obviously. But it's announced, so.
I think I would have to go. Let's see. This isn't an exclusive, so it's anything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I got to go with Final Fantasy VII because of how much I love this game and the fact that this is a really big deal that it's here now on Nintendo, given the historical significance. There's a great story about how this all happened. It involves obviously Nintendo and Sony, and it's really good video game lore from the 90s that if you look it up, you'll probably be entertained with what you have to read, and it's finally here. I love these games. I'd say it's that and it's Dragon Quest 7 reimagined right now, which comes out 2 weeks later, but it's also Dustbloods. Like you said, it's Fire Emblem. So, there's some third-party ones for you, and don't sleep on Indiana Jones when it comes out. So I reviewed that game too. It's so good. So good.
Perfect. Okay, I'll jump to the next one here. Boo Mini. If we get an OOT remake in 2026, any chance they release a Nintendo Switch 2 Ocarina of Time Special Edition console?
Yes.
There's always a chance.
We haven't got one yet.
Right.
It's Zelda's 40th. It's a good opportunity. When's the last custom special console was it Tears? Or no, it was the what is it? The Switch Lite. Zelda one.
The one for Echoes of Wisdom?
Yeah.
Did it come with Echoes of Wisdom? Or am I remembering wrong?
I don't think so.
You're thinking of the gold Switch Lite, right?
Yeah, there's the Tears of the Kingdom Switch and then the gold Switch Lite. The Zelda Switch Lite.
I think we're going to get either a special edition console. I'm hoping. I actually don't want it to be a console because I don't want to have to buy another Switch 2.
Right.
But what I do really want is either gold. I want the gold. I think the Tears of the Kingdom system is beautiful, but I want something that has that more iconic gold, like how we got the golden 3DS and the golden Nintendo 64 and the golden Switch Lite. So I'm hoping for a golden anniversary Pro controller or golden Joy-Cons. I think would look really sexy on the Switch 2.
Yeah, it would.
And then maybe a skin or something that you could throw on your dock or your back of your Switch 2 or something.
Or sell a Zelda dock separately. I want a second dock.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I've got multiple TV rooms. I need to get a second dock. So, the Switch is a console that's meant to travel, even if you're playing musical bedrooms.
Right, for sure. Yeah, it's crap. I forgot what I was going to say.
That someone made on Etsy. I remember looking at this years ago when Switch 1 was new. A dock that looked like, if you're thinking of the same one as me, Stash, because there's a bunch of cool ones. Not the Shield one. That one's rad.
Okay.
There's one that looks like the pedestal that
for
the Master Sword is in.
Yes.
It looks stone with like moss growing on it.
It's very cool.
It is rad. So I would love something like that. That's like, get and it. I don't know. You take your dock out, maybe give it a sound effect. The da 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 da.
That'd be sick.
You put your dock in or your Switch in.
You know what actually would be really cool, Doc, is when you put the pad in Breath of the Wild into those things to ready the towers.
Yep.
That have that be the dock. You put your Switch in, so it's like you're putting it in the in that little port.
Yeah,
that would definitely be cool. Speaking of items, when are we supposed to get those Mario flowers? When are those dropping? I want one of those so bad. I want to get multiple.
I think it's supposed to align with like the movie.
The movie?
And
okay.
The Switch 2 edition of Mario Wonder. I think it's all going to be part of that promotional launch.
I am highly interested in that flower.
I'm getting one.
Still seeing spring of 2026.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm counting on it too.
Stash, did you get the Rosalina book by any chance?
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
I got a few. I got some as gifts too. So I do have a lot of youngins that I can buy that for, and they'll actually like it. Hopefully not rip it to shreds. It's a collector's item too, brother.
What I mean, I remember what I was going to say. You know, the Switch itself doesn't necessarily need to be decorative for me. The Joy-Cons, the dock, that makes more sense. The console itself doesn't necessarily have to be decorative for me.
Sure. Yeah, because it's mostly populated by a screen.
Right. You know, and you know, if you dock it, you're not going to see the back end of it anyways. So, and how often am I looking at the back end of my Switch too?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Any more thoughts on this one, or
No. Give
Yeah,
us
I
the
think-
goods, Nintendo.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, again, it's the 40th anniversary.
Mhm.
So
I think we'll get something.
we're going to get something. Or we get it in 2027 to coincide with the movie, and they celebrate the anniversary later in the year. I think it'll probably
guys,
start earlier, though.
we got Skyward Sword Joy-Cons. And Skyward Sword is like, I love the game, but it's definitely, you know, one of the ugly stepbrothers or stepsisters in the Zelda family. And so the fact that we got special controllers for that tells me there's got to be something nice coming for the 40th.
For sure.
Skyward Sword actually scored twice because we got the golden Wiimote with that game.
Yep.
My favorite Wiimote.
Same.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yes.
And last one here. So, AJ Rax, I just thought of a remake I want to see for the Switch.
Ooh.
Secret of Evermore.
Hell yeah. I think I might have that loaded in my Super Nintendo.
Secret
right
of
now.
Evermore. Illusion of Gaia
Illusion of Gaia.
would be really cool. Let's try again on Secret of Mana. Let's do an HD 2D version of Secret of Mana.
Mhm.
I think that would knock it out of the park. Bird, I mentioned HD 2D version of Secret of Mana would be really cool too. There's a lot of Super Nintendo games though, like that you could look back to. It could be really good candidates. Obviously, we've talked about Chrono Trigger quite a bit. Earthbound. That's the one I was thinking of. Terranigma by Enix.
Oh yeah.
Lufia 2 is actually a very good game. So you got the Breath of Fires as well. If Capcom ever wants to revisit it, whenever they send out their surveys, I always vote for Breath of Fire. A lot of people do actually. Obviously, Star Ocean was on Super Nintendo. We did get that. And then Secret of Evermore, yes. There's a lot you could look back on during this era and the PS1 era that could be revisited. Like, for instance, Dragon Quest, obviously 7. Bahamut Lagoon's another one. Yeah. I would like to see that. Secret of Evermore would be a cool one.
Mhm.
I'm all for it.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
All right. That does it for Super Chats. So I guess let's go around and do our outros and see what we're working on. Go ahead, GameBird.
Yeah, guys. You guys know where to find me here on YouTube at GameBird Classic or on Twitter at _Birdmaster. Just dropped a video last week about Zelda's 40th anniversary and why I believe this one has potential to be the biggest of them all. It's something we've definitely talked about on the show, but I go in a little bit more detail in my thoughts, and it's definitely a fun video, a lot of fun to make. So I hope you guys check that out if you're interested. And I've got more content coming very soon. Very busy time right now with the holidays. I have a couple reviews that I still need to release on the channel, as well as a few other discussion videos. It's been a very busy end of the year, but I really appreciate you guys tuning in and supporting me and joining me on my stream. I know it's a little bit less populated, but I do appreciate it. And guys, I'm less than 100 subs away from 3K followers. I don't think I'm going to make it for the. I don't think it's going to happen for the new year, which is unfortunate, but still, I'm so overwhelmed by all the positive interaction with the community and all the support from you guys. Really does mean so much to me. And also, guys, I dropped a little shop. Not much stuff on there, but I added a little shop to the channel with some GameBird shirts, some sweaters, and I'm actually wearing the GameBird cap.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you guys want to represent, just like with the Nintenbyte podcast, it's a little money from that helps support the channel. And I'm hoping, I know I talked about live streams, but I'm hoping to really dive into that more solid. Things have just been busy, but if anyone's noticed, I know it's not as consistent as Prime or Stashman. I don't know if anyone's noticed, I've been more consistent than what's normal. It's because I've been starting to kind of plan things out more in advance, whereas before I would wait for an idea to come to me and like, oh, I feel like making a video about this, or oh, I'm going to do something about this.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of thinking a little bit more ahead, especially with my chaotic schedule. That being said, thank you guys for your support. I love you all, and support these two. I know, Eric, you don't have your channel, but support him here every Wednesday and support the Stash Man.
Thanks, man.
These two rock. And support Nate, who can't be here tonight.
Sweet.
ThunderStash.
All right. So just a little recap, I guess, on what I've done lately. It's been a busy month. It's been a busy December. Kingdom of Night. Very cool game. It's like Stranger Things meets Arizona. It's an RPG. Very likely will be coming to Switch 2 early next year. It's on Steam right now. Octopath Traveler 0. Reviewed that. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. If you're a fan of Shredder's Revenge, you need to watch that. Blood Refreshed Supply. 90s first-person shooter, Night Dive studio game. They're the best. They are the absolute best when it comes to remastering or remaking these games. Terminator 2D, No Fate review. Reviewed that. I grew up playing like Terminator game in the arcade where the controller was the actual like machine gun. And of course, we grew up playing the really crappy games on NES from LJN. And we played them all, right? Because it's Terminator and Terminator's badass. So you got to play it. But you never know what you're going to get. You have an idea what you're going to get, and it's not going to be good. So if you like Terminator, check that out. And then the Rogue Prince of Persia. That game really surprised me. Yeah, there's a lot of value in that game for like the price it is, and they have a launch price too, which they didn't tell me that. Ubisoft, they told us how much it was going to be, $29.99, which I thought when I reviewed it, I even said it, thought it was a great deal for what you're getting. And then launch day comes and it's like $20.99 special launch price sale. I'm like, oh my God. Like, if you have any interest in roguelites or just the Prince of Persia, I know some people hear roguelite and they're like, oh, I don't play those. But it's like, guys, Hades 2, Rogue Prince of Persia, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Splintered Fate, which I reviewed yesterday. All roguelites, all amazing. Highly recommend. And then System Shock Remake, I reviewed that on Switch 2. Of course, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond review. So yeah, go check out my reviews. They are all spoiler free. I don't know if you guys know that. I make a very concerted effort to make everything spoiler free out of respect for you guys and because that's how I would want it. That's a really big deal to me because we wait too long for some of these games to come out. There ain't no way in hell I'm going to spoil something that we've waited 18 years for. You know what I mean? I don't think that's cool. I don't like it when channels do that. So just know that I let you know everything you need to know. Performance, all that stuff, but I don't spoil anything. Okay? You know where to find me, ThunderStash Gaming, and then I'm working on a video as soon as we're done because I have to get it out by midnight.
Oh,
wow.
Yes. And I was working up to the clock. I just need to put my background music in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
But it's for the big N, so I need to get it out by midnight. That's it. Merry Christmas to everyone. I I'd say Happy New Year, but I'll wish that to you next week. Okay.
Can I say something real quick?
Absolutely.
I got to give kudos to Stash. He's talking about his reviews. One thing I really love about ThunderStash's reviews, you don't really see this. At least I don't see it from other people. Is it's my favorite thing that you do, man. At the end of every game review, he says, "So who is this game for?" And he talks about similar games within the genre. Games, just like if you play this, if you enjoy this, if you like this, this is a game for you. I love that. I appreciate that so much.
Man.
Just because that gives just an extra layer. We talk about how like just isolating a game to just a number and how it doesn't do, not only does it not do the game service, doesn't do service to any of the people who put their blood, sweat, and tears over however many years it took for them to develop that. I really appreciate that because sometimes I listen to a review, it sounds really cool, but I'm not sure. But if this man's dropping things like, oh, if you love Chrono Trigger, if you love games like Final Fantasy VI and Secret of Mana, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm buying this game because I love all those games, and this game must be for me. So I love that you do that. I just wanted to say that because I've never heard that at the end of a review before, and you do it every time. So
yeah, thanks, dude. Yeah, I have a system for like how I do it. I also just don't. I never know it works. I just know like what I would want to hear, but I don't know unless I get feedback. So, like, I don't know if it's actually working unless I get feedback. So,
well,
I
I would
appreciate
say with the rate your channel's growing, I would say you're doing something right.
Yeah,
So,
thanks, man.
yeah.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, no, and that leaves me. I'm Eric Mohr. You can find me here and on our Eclipse channel. And then we do have a fourth co-host on Nintendo Prime, who couldn't be here tonight. His son is currently in the hospital, so prayers out to him, and hopefully everything comes back. So that means I'm not sure when his next video will be out. So just so everybody knows, it may be probably not for a little bit here, but I'm sure he'll keep you all updated on his ways of communications, whether it's Discord, community post, whatever, whenever he's got an update. So yeah. And I think with that, then we'll just call it a night. Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry
See you next
Christmas.
week.